Week 11 in the NFL, and two teams who have fallen short of expectations so far this year. The 2-7 Patriots taking on the 2-8 Cleveland Browns. Hi, everybody. Ian Eagle along with Mark May. Bill Belichick returns to Cleveland for the first time since he was the head coach here in 1995. But put that storyline off to the side. We still don't know who's starting at quarterback for the Patriots.
The starting quarterback, Drew Bledsoe, injured his thumb last week. One, for Drew Bledsoe, will he start? Two, how effective can he be with that wrap on his thumb? Personally, I believe he will start this game. And we haven't heard from the Patriots, but how long can he come?
John Freeze is available to be the starting quarterback if necessary. For the Browns, trying to snap a 7-game losing streak, Doug Pederson once again gets the nod. Fourth straight start for him at quarterback for the injured Tim Couch. All the action coming up live from Cleveland Browns Stadium. We've got it for you. The Pats, the Browns, right here on CBS. It's the NFL on CBS from Cleveland, Ohio. The New England Patriots and Cleveland Browns meeting for the second consecutive season. Patriots a winner here last year. They'll kick when we return. Still waiting to see if Drew Bledsoe will be the starting quarterback for the New England Patriots. He's been hopping around on the sidelines, and the Patriots will have the football first. Cleveland ready to kick it off with Phil Dawson. Browns coming off a 24-3 loss to the Giants last week. They are 2-8, 7 consecutive losses after starting the season 2-1. Not much of a wind here today, even though the ball was blown to the ground. Bill Belichick, back in Cleveland, he said not quite as emotional as when he took on the New York Jets earlier this season, when the players that he coached day to day were on the other side of the field. And we're underway. Falk and Redmond, the deep men. And this is Kevin Falk from the 8. Falk trying to find an angle. Center of the field, and Falk is brought down shy of the 25-yard line by Lanoy Jones, a 17-yard return. And here is Drew Bledsoe. Jammed his right thumb on Bills linebacker Sam Rogers' helmet last week. Was forced to leave the game in the second quarter. Mark, he has been an Iron Man ever since he came into the league as a rookie in 1993.
Well, he's a guy that doesn't miss. It's a pride thing with Drew Bledsoe. And the situation here is it's his right thumb. It's his throwing thumb that's banged up. When he takes the snap from Damian Woody, the center, it's going to put pressure on that thumb. How long can he go today?
A 1st and 10 from the 25. For the New England Patriots, trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. Off play action, Bledsoe will throw it, or will he? Sacked on first down. Keith McKenzie on the first play from scrimmage.
And it's the defensive front that's bulked up for the Cleveland Browns, and that's where the best progression on their defense has been, is rebuilding their defensive front four.
A loss of 7 for the Patriots. Take a look at the offensive line. Bruce Armstrong, his 206th game as a Patriot, ties the team record. Backs and receivers. Terry Glenn, that brand new contract. We'll talk about that as the game transpires. On a 2nd and 17. Line of scrimmage, the 18. Running play for Redmond, the rookie. And Redmond is driven back after a gain of 2. The Browns were ready defensively. Cleveland defense looks like this. Keith McKenzie coming up with his 6th sack of the year. That leads the team. Courtney Brown among the rookie leaders with 4.5 sacks. Linebackers and some changes because of injuries. Marty Moore gets the start. He is a former Patriot. In the secondary, McCutcheon, Ellsworth, Smith, and Corey Fuller, who had a tough time with Amani Toomer last week in that loss to the Giants. On a 3rd and 15, 3-receiver set. Tony Simmons checks in for New England. Now a 4-receiver set as they flood the left side. There's Bledsoe with a long count. In the pocket, Bledsoe rolling. Little flip to the side, and he was fortunate it wasn't picked off. Kevin Falk, the intended receiver. And the Patriots go 3 and out on their first possession.
And the New England Patriots go in the trips formation to the left. Drew Bledsoe rolls to his right, where there's only a single receiver on that side of the field. But tremendous coverage downfield by the defense of the Cleveland Browns. When you have good coverage downfield, it makes it easier for the front four to get pressure on the quarterback. And in that series, Cleveland played like a legitimate playoff team. That's what their goals were at the beginning of the season. If they can continue to play like that, they're a solid football team.
Lee Johnson just gets this punt off. It does take a New England bounce. Northcutt couldn't handle it initially, and a wave of special teamers come in to make the play. Teddy Bruschi leading the charge, and the line of scrimmage will be right around the 35-yard line. A 41-yard punt, -4 on the return for Northcutt. And here's Doug Pederson. He has not been able to put this team into the end zone as a starter, replacing Tim Couch. Since Couch went down with the injury prior to that Pittsburgh game, it happened in practice that week on Thursday. This Cleveland offense has managed just 6 points. And a double tight end to set up on 1st and 10 from the 35. Pederson barking out the signals to his offensive lineman. He'll throw it on 1st down. Sideline toss and nobody home. He was looking for the rookie Dennis Northcutt, who felt he was undercut defensively as he made his move to the outside. The Cleveland offense, and on that offensive line, problems last week for Steve Zahersky on the right side. Michael Strahan just manhandled him last week. Dave Wohlabaugh, the center, is a former Patriot. Backs and receivers, Travis Prentice is the starter, but expect to see Jamel White in there as well. Johnson and Northcutt, the receivers, they have problems at wide receiver, and Tim Couch, one of the many starters offensively, watching from the sidelines for Cleveland. Prentice gets his first touch, and he tries to push the pile on the right side with Chris Slade defensively. A gain of 6. The New England defense. And changes here. Greg Spires gets the start. Willie McGinnis didn't even make the trip because of a calf injury. Henry Thomas getting the start as well. Linebackers, Rob Holmberg is in there for the injured Ted Johnson. He is not in person here today because of a thigh injury. And in the secondary, Tabucky Jones gets the start for Larry Wiggum, but don't be shocked if you see Wiggum playing linebacker because of the injury problems that they have there. On a 3rd and 4, 4 receiver look from the 40. Pederson, and it's dropped. Dennis Northcutt would have had a 1st down, had open running room in front of him. And the Browns will be forced to punt on their first possession.
3rd down is an area for the Cleveland Browns where they must improve. 28% completion on 3rd down, but here's a play. The ball's just thrown behind Northcutt. Makes his plant reach to the outside. If the ball's out in front of him, it's a 1st down. But he's got to turn all the way around to get the football and catch it. And even though he gets there, that's still a catchable play. But if the ball's placed in front of him, it's a 1st down for the Cleveland Browns.
Chris Gardocki on his way to a Pro Bowl season. Went to the Pro Bowl in 1996 as a member of the Bears. Punting to Troy Brown, currently leading the AFC in punt return average, 16 yards per. This one from the 16. And Brown has some room. Up the middle. Troy Brown remaining on his feet. And finally brought down as he crosses the 45. Marquis Smith makes the stop. And the Patriots have tremendous field position for their 2nd offensive drive. 12:08 mark, 1st quarter. Welcome back to Cleveland. No score. The Patriots and the Browns. New England. During that timeout, Drew Bledsoe shaking that right hand as he's set to take the snap on a 1st and 10 from their own 47. Double tight end set. Bledsoe on a draw play for J.R. Redmond, trying to take it up the middle, and Stalin Collinet knocks him down low. No gain on 1st down.
Great penetration by Collinet to get into the backfield and make the back avoid. But here's the snap. Keep an eye on right there. That's the injured thumb, obviously. It's taped up. That's where the pressure comes. He usually interlocks his fingers, but right there he's got his thumbs on top of one another to take the snap. That could become a problem later on in the game.
So the Patriots will face a 2nd and 10, and Max Lane is slow to get up. And now the medical staff will come onto the field with the clock stopped. 11:54 to play in the 1st quarter. Grant Williams would step in for Lane at right tackle. This is a makeshift offensive line that the Patriots were forced to put together in training camp with the likes of Joe Andruzzi, free agent pickup from Green Bay, and Soleil Isaiah, who was in Oakland's camp, didn't make the team, a former Brown who Belichick remembers back from 1995, and then Isaiah went on to play with the Ravens. But right now, Max Lane, the 7-year veteran from Navy, is being helped to his feet. We'll step aside. No score. The Patriots and the Browns just underway. 1st quarter from Cleveland Brown Stadium. A slow start to this one with the Patriots and Browns scoreless. New England facing a 2nd and 11 from the 46-yard line. Max Lane taken off the field, so Grant Williams steps in at right tackle. Base offense for the Patriots. On a pitch. Here's Redmond, and flags come down. You want to talk about no rhythm.
False start, 88 offense, 5 yards, and still second down.
Jerry Austin with the call, the veteran referee. There is just no flow to this game whatsoever as we take a look at Chris Palmer. Coach with the Patriots, had a nice run there, coaching the wide receivers, and also coached the quarterback position in 1996, the year the Pats went to the Super Bowl. Part of that coaching staff? That's right, Bill Belichick, serving under Bill Parcells. Now a 2nd and 16 from the 41. The Patriots moving in the wrong direction. Up the middle, Redmond. Not much room to work with. Marty Moore, first man to get there, a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd and long. Bledsoe and Palmer with a very good relationship when Palmer was his position coach, and the two had a chance to chat with one another before the game today.
Well, they talk to each other quite often, and when you develop a bond in the NFL between player and coach, that carries on forever. I've got coaches that I still talk to that coached me back in the 80s, so once you develop that relationship, it stays for the rest of your life.
Palmer had a lot of positive things to say about Bledsoe from the time that he coached him to now. He feels he's a much more mature quarterback and complete quarterback. Bledsoe in trouble and sacked. Keith McKenzie came firing in.
And I'll tell you what, Bruce Armstrong never got sent. The quickness of Keith McKenzie getting off the ball, inside penetration. Look at the penetration here. Keep an eye. He's going to go inside with the shoulder, put pressure on the inside soft side of Bruce Armstrong right there. There's a little swim and dip. Gets pressure up the field, but the pressure comes on the inside of the rush with Keith McKenzie. Pressure right up the field, going over the left guard, and both of them, the left guard, left tackle, get beat on the play. They've got to hold up to give Drew Bledsoe time to throw the ball. He didn't have a chance to get set.
Jameer Miller also getting in on the act. Dennis Northcutt struggling to get to the 30-yard line. And Ulrich Johnson making the stop. Well, the Patriots doing nothing with their good field position. Cleveland will take over. Well, not much to update you on here. No score. Patriots and Browns, 9:54 to play in the first quarter. And a 1st and 10 for the Browns at their own 29-yard line. On a handoff, Jamel White looking for blockers, and he'll take it back the other way. Pederson comes out to block for him. And White is stacked up behind the line of scrimmage. Chad Eaton was able to come over and help make the tackle along with Ty Law. No gain on the play. Well, we spoke with Bill Belichick yesterday about his return to Cleveland and asked him what he thought the reaction might be. He said, they didn't really throw any bouquets for me in New York, so I'm not expecting cheers.
Well, and he's used to it because anytime you travel on the road, you're going to get booed, and he expected it here. But, he's close to this Cleveland town. He liked it here. His parents are from the area. And, Bill Belichick, I think deep down, he wanted to succeed when he was here. He did take the team to the playoffs, but I think deep down it hurt him at what happened in the circumstances.
Well, he was in a lame duck situation in 1995, and he shouldn't be blamed for that. Here's a throw. Pederson on the outside for Mark Edwards, the fullback. And yes, positive yardage here in the first quarter, a gain of 8. Close to a first down. Let's get an NFL Today update. We head to New York at Jim Nance.
All right, Ian. Baltimore at Tennessee, and Trent Dilfer, 46 yards to Qadri Ismail to give the Ravens a quick 7-0 lead. Let's go back to Ian and Mark.
Now the Ravens now busting out of their touchdown drought. Cleveland Browns, on the other hand, they haven't seen the end zone in quite a long time. Bobby Brown has checked in. And a swing pass to Jamel White. First down for Cleveland as White takes it to the outside, and he's tackled at the 45. Lawyer Malloy and Kato Serwanga combine on the stop after the gain of 9. Well, the Browns offense, as they come in at 2-8. Last touchdown came on October 15th against Denver, and really the disturbing part for Chris Palmer and company, Tim Couch was really growing into the role in his second year.
And he really made the steps in progression. Completion percentage went way up, interceptions went way down, touchdowns went up, and he thought he made the leap from year 1 to year 2, but unfortunately he got hurt at the most inappropriate time when he was making the progression step.
In a practice week, no less, in a fluke situation. Flags come down on a 1st and 10 at the 46. And Couch forced to watch from the sidelines for the rest of the year because of that busted up thumb. Browns are saying it'll be against New England. Jerry Austin.
We have an unsportsmanlike foul on the defense. The nose tackle is calling the signal. 15 yards, automatic first down.
And what happens on that play is on defense, you're not allowed to bark out cadences to try to get the offense to jump off sides. And players do that from time to time on defense to get the offense to jump first. On this play, you're going to see the offense going to jump, and the right guard really jumps Everett Lindsay. And what they do is they try to copy the inflection of the quarterback's voice. Right here, look at the right side will jump. Because right there, see his head bob? As soon as his head bobbed, he was out there barking out the cadence of the quarterback to get the offense to jump, and you can't do that.
Something that happened to you quite a bit?
Maybe once or twice. Maybe once.
On a 1st and 10, now the Browns in New England territory. Jamel White stringing it up the middle for a gain of 4. And the clock continues to move as Teddy Bruschi makes the stop for New England.
And Teddy Bruschi, the weak side backer for the Patriots. We'll take a look at his play here. He's virtually the only guy that's 100% healthy. All the other linebackers have been nicked up and dinged up, but he plays off the block on the left side, comes back in, fires in on the tackle, and he's been solid at that position. He's a defensive lineman at Arizona. Rushed the quarterback from a down position, and now he's really adapted from the down position to the up position of a linebacker.
On 2nd and 6, Jamel White seeing extended action in the backfield. Line of scrimmage is the 35. Pederson throws the long ball, and incomplete. An effort by Tabucky Jones to maybe get a finger on it. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Browns. Kevin Johnson, the intended receiver, down the sideline on a go pattern.
And that's something that the Cleveland Browns offense has lacked, obviously, the big play. Getting it down the field to Kevin Johnson. Last year, Kevin Johnson had one of his biggest plays against the New England defense, and he wanted to try to take advantage of it again, but here's the case. Ty Law had perfect leverage on him. He didn't let him get back to the outside.
Kevin Johnson does not have a touchdown this season. Had an impressive rookie year out of Syracuse. And the quarterback woes have been a part of that for him this season. On 3rd and 6, Pederson avoiding the rush. On a scramble, Pederson to the sideline and a first down. Angled out of bounds, just shy of the 20. Chris Slade providing the pressure. A 13-yard run for Pederson.
Now, it's a nice job of the offense of picking up the blitz, but keep an eye on Slade. He's going to come all the way around and run free. He has a sore back with back spasms. Normally, he would make the sack, the tackle on that play. But Doug Pederson wisely pulls it down, gets to the outside, gets positive yardage, and picks up the first down.
They have gone 13 quarters without a touchdown. Now a 1st and 10 at the New England 22. Pederson. On a draw play, White trying to cut it back. And the Patriots' Chad Eaton brought him down. No gain on the play.
And what happens to inexperienced backs, Jamel White, he's a rookie, small rookie, water bug type, only 5'9". When he doesn't see the hole automatically, he wants to move and make a play. He's got to relax and have confidence in his offensive line. Here's some issues. Follow your fullback, 44, right there in front of you, Mark Edwards. He will create a seam for you. Don't try to make it all on your own.
On a 2nd and 10 now from the 22. Under 6 minutes to play in the first. Browns with a chance to put some points on the board. Here's Pederson, short drop, timing pattern, deflected at the line. Teddy Bruschi able to get his hand up and knock it down. Incomplete.
And one thing about this defense of Bill Belichick's, he'll change it up. He's not afraid to throw 1 down lineman, 3 linebackers, 7 defensive backs. He's got injury at the linebacker position. He's going to mix and match his defensive coverage. You saw Teddy Bruschi, he was playing the will, the weak side backer off the ball. All of a sudden, passing situation, he's on the line of scrimmage, pressuring the quarterback. He will move his players around the chest line.
9th play of the drive. The Cleveland offense only 11 touchdowns in 10 games this season. And here's Pederson on a 3rd and 10 from the 22. Pump fake on the throw. Inside handoff to Jamel White. And the boos come out early here in Cleveland. A gain of 1. Bruschi was all over it.
Well, they didn't fool anyone, particularly Teddy Bruschi. That quick fake downfield, he's going to rush the quarterback. It's a great slap move to get guard Everett Lindsay out of the way and pursue the play on Jamel White. But that play doesn't fool anyone. First of all, you've got to block up front. They did not execute on the offensive line. Second of all, you've got to get the defense to take a step backwards and read that fake.
Phil Dawson, a 39-yard field goal attempt. Gardocki will hold it. Ryan Keel will snap it. Dawson's kick. Straight through. Cleveland takes a 3-0 lead here in the first. So a long drive for the Browns. They put 3 on the board. Consecutive home game, getting crisp here in the Cleveland area. Temperature right around 45 degrees. And the Browns with a 3-0 lead on the New England Patriots. 4:45 left in the first. Phil Dawson will kick it off after the 39-yard field goal. Kevin Falk, J.R. Redmond waiting. And this is Falk moving up to the 14. Falk cutting it to the outside, looking for a lane. And he is brought down at the 35-yard line, a gain of 21. One of America's most enduring corporate images, the Goodyear blimp floating overhead, providing our aerial views for today's game. The Spirit of Goodyear is one of 6 airships in the Goodyear blimp fleet. And we welcome the fine folks from Goodyear here to the Cleveland, Ohio area. Homecoming of sorts for a number of players, including Terry Glenn out of Columbus, Ohio. Had to buy a bunch of tickets for this one. Inside handoff, Tony Carter. And Carter has nowhere to go. A gain of 1. Colin A. and Orpheus Roy combining to make the stop on the New England fullback. First 2 possessions, there's a theme there.
Yes, they need to go forward, not backwards.
Minus yardage.
And that's incredible. And I think a lot of it has to do, one, they don't have a running game that they've established in the past, so they're not getting respect from the Browns defense. They're cheating up with their linebackers, and they're getting close to the line of scrimmage. And 2, the injury to Drew Bledsoe, they're not respecting his arm because the thumb injury.
3 receivers, Tony Simmons now on the field. Bledsoe looking to throw it. Dumps it off underneath and incomplete. J.R. Redmond, the intended target. Marty Moore, the former Patriot, was all over him. Redmond's a rookie, and he has grown into this starting role. Kevin Falk was the starter at the running back position. Now Redmond given the opportunity.
And he loves the opportunity. He relishes it. He told us the other night when we talked to him that this is what he expected out of his career. He's worked hard for this. He was injured early this season, but he's also close friends with Kevin Falk. And he relies on Kevin Falk a lot, Ian, for decisions out there. He'll go to him on the sidelines, and they'll tell him what each other see on the field, and they talk about what they should do during certain plays.
Now it's Falk on the field, moving pocket. Bledsoe is hit as he throws, completes the pass to Falk, and he's got room. Falk cutting it upfield and into Cleveland territory, brought down at the 48. So the Patriots get a little tricky with a misdirection and a gain of 18. Everybody angling towards the right on the offense, and Bledsoe goes left.
And a lot of this has to do with the mobility of Drew Bledsoe. He's rushed for 104 yards this year alone. That's more in his entire career for a season, but the defense pursues him. They don't think it'll run with the ball, but they have to follow him. But that opens up the entire real estate on the left side of the line. He gets blockers out in front of him. That's a nicely designed play. Go to the pursuit comes after you, throw away from you.
A creative call from offensive coordinator Charlie Weiss. On the draw play, here's Redmond. Big hole. Redmond turns it upfield. And J.R. Redmond is tackled at the 28. Tony Carter with a key block. And now the Patriots moving the football, a gain of 19.
What the New England Patriots offense does, they divide and separate. Right in the middle of the field, they get a key block by their fullback and Tony Carter in the middle of the field, but a nice job by center Damian Woody, blocking off the guards, getting into their blocks. Here, watch the fullback right in the middle of the field, get that block right there. That's the block that springs the running back, J.R. Redmond.
Longest gain of Redmond's young career. A 19-yard burst. And now a 1st and 10. It's Redmond again trying to run off tackle, and the Browns able to stack him up with McKenzie. A gain of about 4 on 1st down, coming up on the 2-minute mark of the first quarter. And the Browns leading the Patriots 3-0.
I think Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots, he was with the Jets last year. He came over in the move with Bill Belichick. Changed the offense a little bit this year. For a lot of the wide receivers, they're happy with this offense. And Drew Bledsoe's happy with this offense because he believes every week that they've gone into a game with a game plan they felt comfortable with, they were positive with, and they felt they had the ability to win.
It's just not translating to Sundays on a consistent basis. On 2nd and 6, keep it on the ground for Redmond. Looking for blockers, and Redmond unable to move the pile as Cleveland's entire defense basically involved in that play. A gain of 2 as he took it to the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Pats.
The defense of Cleveland, I like the way that they've improved. And if you look at their record 2-8, this team is not deep. They're an expansion team. It'll take them another 2 years to get depth on this team. But once they get a starter injured, that's when they have problems. But fortunately enough, they're starting 4 defensive line, and they've been healthy for most of the year. 2 of their linebackers have been healthy for most of the year. That's where the strength of this football team's defense is.
On a 3rd and 3 from the 20. Motion man is Rutledge. Here's Bledsoe. On the rollout. throw to the sideline and complete, a first down to Brown. Now the secondary official comes in and says incomplete.
Ruling is incomplete pass, the second foot on the line.
Rick Patterson, the side judge, down on the sideline, came right in and ruled incomplete.
I'll take a look at his feet. They said the first, there it is, right there. If you saw his right foot, it never got down.
That would have been a first down.
Right there.
It's a good call.
But how about Drew Bledsoe? Mobility in the pocket. We've waited 8 years for this. He's waited his 8th year to run around out there. He's like a spring chicken running around the quarterback position, but it's another dimension for the offense. It puts pressure on the defense. And head coach Chris Palmer of the Cleveland Browns told us he's never seen Drew Bledsoe this mobile in his career.
A 38-yard field goal attempt for Adam Vinatieri. Vinatieri leans into it and splits the uprights. We're tied at 3. Final moments of the first quarter. New England and Cleveland knotted up. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame here in Cleveland. I'm sure some great pictures of Max Weinberg, part of the Bruce Springsteen E Street Band. And as far as Max Lane is concerned, there's a connection there. I know you're waiting for it.
So was I.
Yeah. Max Lane, left knee injury, unlikely return. The starting right tackle for the Patriots. After the Vinatieri field goal, Jamel White on the return. Tries to sidestep a tackler, and he gets to the 31-yard line. He's brought down by Harold Shaw. 26-yard return off the kickoff.
I mean, Jamel White is a player that they really wanted to sign after the draft, and they couldn't sign him. Went to Indy. They scrimmaged Indy, returned a kickoff return for a touchdown against him. They waited, bided their time. They finally got him. And here's a player that he was drafted by the Seattle Mariners for baseball. Hadn't played since T-ball because of his 60-yard dash time.
That's amazing. That's like a major league team drafting you because in Little League you would plunk guys with the first pitch and then they'd be scared of you and you'd throw no hitters.
I had an awesome fastball.
Oh, come on.
98 miles an hour.
I want to see video.
You're only 30 feet away from the plate.
Inside handoff, Prentice with under a minute left in the first. And a 7-yard scamper up the middle. Tackle made by Rob Holmberg. Winding down here in the first quarter in a 3-3 game. Two teams looking to break losing streaks. Pats have dropped 3 straight. Browns have lost 7 in a row. You know, the thing with New England, victories over Denver and Indianapolis back-to-back, you figured that would turn their season around. It just never happened. They were never able to build on that.
They've been in a lot of close football games.
5 of their 7 losses have been decided by 7 points or less. Here's Prentice, unable to get to the outside. No gain on the play, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. To Bucky Jones making the stop, having some good pursuit. Sideline to sideline. End of the first. New England and Cleveland tied at 3. We'll return to Cleveland Browns Stadium right after this message. This is the NFL on CBS. Tied at 3, the Patriots and the Browns as we start play in the second quarter. Ian Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew with you from Cleveland, Ohio. And the Browns facing a 3rd and 3. Travis Prentice in at running back. Sets up as a receiver. Here's Pederson. Plenty of time in the pocket. Slings one over the middle. And complete. Dennis Northcutt takes a shot from the physical Ty Law. And it'll be short of a first down, or will it, depending upon where they spot the football.
Northcutt still down.
He had his bell rung.
And as you said, great protection, but right here he leads the receiver. The receiver's not even looking. He's looking at the ball, and Ty Law is waiting for him.
How did he hold on to it?
Tremendous job of concentration, but Ty Law was just setting the trap for him and closed it as soon as he caught it.
He was bounced back after the hit. And where they spotted the football, it appears it's enough for the first down. Dennis Northcutt on his back. Dennis Northcutt was able to run off the field, so it appears he just had the wind knocked out of him. And now the Browns are 1st and 10 at the 43. Handoff. Prentice running off tackle, and Chad Eaton first man there for a gain of 2. Problems at wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, in fact, because of the injuries to David Patton and Darren Shiverini. Damon Dunn has stepped in to replace Northcutt, at least for the time being, until Northcutt can get back onto the field. And Bobby Brown was signed off the practice squad earlier today, number 89 in his first year out of Notre Dame. So things are thin at the receiving position for Chris Palmer's club. Now a 2nd and 7 from the 46. Edwards shifts over in the backfield. Handoff, no. Play fake. Pederson to Edwards. Out of the flat, and Edwards is brought down quickly by Smith and Slade. A modest gain of 2. Well, Bill Belichick is the defensive coordinator of this team. There is no other coach listed for that spot.
And here's a shot of him here. He goes out on the field, talks to his players as he's a defensive coordinator, because he is. But he told us on it he'd like to relinquish those duties and step back farther and farther as time goes on and turn those duties over to someone else.
Eric Mangini may be the man that gets the job down the line, the heir apparent, secondary coach who watches from the field and helps signal in the calls to the defense. Pederson under a rush, brought down as he unloads Lawyer Malloy on that safety blitz, and it's incomplete. Kevin Johnson, the intended receiver, but the pass nowhere close to Johnson as he made his cut.
This is a nice job. Watch here. Watch the defenders. They're all going to blitz. They're all going to take lanes, and one's going to come free. The person that comes free, Lawyer Malloy. They overloaded the defense on the offense's right, defense's left. The ball's thrown behind wide receiver Kevin Johnson because quarterback Doug Pederson doesn't have time to step up and throw the ball where he wants to.
Chris Gardocki leading the NFL with a net punting average of over 39 yards per. Troy Brown, fair catch, and he brings it in cleanly at the 7. Not much offense to speak of, a 45-yard punt, and we're tied at 3 in the second quarter. 3-3, Patriots and Browns. Drew Bledsoe, the starting quarterback for the Patriots today, 1 of 4 throwing the football, 18 yards with that injured right thumb. Double tight end set. Eitzman goes in motion. Fake the pitch and a throw to Terry Glenn. And the first catch of the day for Glenn, just shy of the 20, a pickup of 11. New set of downs for New England. Marty Moore with a tackle. Let's go to New York. NFL Today report. Jim Nance.
All right, Ian, how about this? The Ravens, 10 first downs, Tennessee, nothing. Jamal Lewis in to complete a 96-yard drive, 18 plays, 14-0. Back to Ian and Mark.
Such an important game for Baltimore, trying to get back into it for the race for the division title in the AFC Central. Tennessee has been unbeatable, even though they've been walking that fine line. A lot of close games. On the draw play, J.R. Redmond. And he keeps the legs churning as he picks up extra yardage. A gain of 5. Darius Holland in on the stop. Only AFC offense without a 300-yard passer or a 100-yard rusher. You could not have predicted that before the season started.
And with a Drew Bledsoe, I mean, here's one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. For him not to have a 300-yard passing day, it's almost incredible, but it's a change of offense again for this Patriots club, and they can't find their number 1 running back, a guy they can hit in the head on for a 100-yard rusher.
Last year against Cleveland, Bledsoe 389 yards through the air. J.R. Redmond turning it upfield, crossing the 25, and Wally Rader with a tackle after a gain of 3. Have you seen a problem with Bledsoe so far because of this injured thumb?
No, when we spoke with him last night, he said he always interlocks his thumb. Look at his thumb. They're interlocked almost right in there. He'd like to interlock them in between, but you see the split with the ball? Throughout the game, that may become a problem. I said it earlier. As soon as his hand starts to swell and that thumb and joint start to swell, he's going to have a tough time controlling the ball because he's not interlocking that thumb.
Patriots offensively, only 189 yards of total offense last week. That injury to Bledsoe. Up the middle, Kevin Falk. And a first down as he picks up 10 yards on a 3rd and 2. So Falk, who probably is more of a 3rd down back, and that's what the coaching staff has realized throughout this season. And that's the type of role where he could have a long NFL career. Probably not an every down back. Look at his size.
Well, I think so. And when you look at his size and, drafting him right out of the draft, coming out of LSU, great punt returner, kick returner, ran the ball, took receptions out of the backfield. With his size, there's no way he can take the pounding of an every down back. New England's finally realized.
And he's a nice receiver coming out of the backfield as J.R. Redmond gets the call. Moving forward for a gain of 3. Marty Moore, first man there. As we approach the 10-minute mark, second quarter, 3-3. Patriots and the Browns. New England at 2-7. Cleveland at 2-8. And clearly this has become a transition year for the New England Patriots. It's funny. You look at the AFCs before the season started, and So much was up in the air. You didn't know where Miami, New England, the Jets, and Buffalo fit in. Tony Carter, the inside handoff, and he picks up 4. Keith McKenzie involved with Wally Rayner making that stop. Log on to NFL.com. Vote for the AFC and NFC All-Star teams who will battle in the 2001 Pro Bowl. Vote now on NFL.com. Understand my point, though, that New England kind of fit into that group. You didn't really know what they were.
And you thought they were going to be a decent team. Bill Belichick, defensive expert. You thought with his expertise he would help the defense, which he has in some areas. But the offense, they're still needing that other receiver. And I think without a good tight end, it hurts Drew Bledsoe in his offense.
Bledsoe's pass intercepted. Darius Holland somehow got his hands on it and comes up with the pick.
And that's the old penetration drill. Drew Bledsoe's telling his wide receivers, you're supposed to do the square in. But if you can't get to the quarterback, get your paws up. Take the 3 steps, get the hands up, knock the ball around, and it just goes right into the paws of Darius Holland. Great play, defensively smart. He knows he's not going to get the quarterback, Drew Bledsoe. Put those hands up in the air, distract him, and you'll get lucky. Well, he got lucky on that play.
Darius Holland, a backup defensive tackle, playing with his 4th team in the NFL. He comes up with the interception. Great field position. Shake and bake. Jamel White, spin move. And brought down at the 32-yard line. A 9-yard gain on first down to Bucky Jones with a stop.
And this is a great play by Jamel White. And what happens is there's penetration in the backfield. And this is where speed is to his advantage. Because if he takes it where the play is designed, he's going to get stopped for lost yardage. But he takes the ball to the outside, makes something happen with his speed.
On a 2nd and 1. Browns at the New England 32. Handed off. White. And a first down for Cleveland as he put the helmet down and picked up 2 yards. They'll spot the football at the 30-yard line. Down to 8.5 remaining in the first half. 3-3 game.
And it's strange, Ryan. In some places where we go and do games, fans cheer and go crazy over a score, a touchdown, a big play. Here they cheer on a 3rd down conversion, a first down, because they know that with this football team, it's still taking baby steps. It's in their 2nd year in expansion. A lot of their marquee players are injured, particularly on offense. Quarterback Tim Couch, running back Eric Brett. That really hurt their offense with those 2 injuries.
They've scored 10 points or fewer in 4 straight games. On a 1st and 10, and the play will not happen.
False start, 72 offense, 5 yards, still first down.
That is Roman Oben, the left tackle, grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, a huge Redskin fan, and told us earlier this season he grew up loving Mark May and the Hogs.
Just pumping my chest just a little bit because there are millions of Hog fans out there. And hundreds of thousands of Mark May fans out there.
Is that right? You done a poll?
But here's a good young man. And when he played college ball, Louisville, went to the Giants, wasn't respected at the Giants, came over here, and he's really solidified the left side of the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns.
On 1st and 15, I want to get into your fan club a little bit. Jamel White is stacked up, and flags come down late. Bobby Hamilton, first man there, and then driven back. We'll see what the penalty marker is. Cleveland was already dealing with a 1st and 15 and another penalty.
83 offense, 10 yards, repeat first down.
That 2nd-year tight end, Mark Campbell. So neither team has been able to move the football in the right direction.
Man, looking at Cleveland's offense and Chris Palmer's offense, here's an area where I think they can capitalize on. Their tight ends, Mark Campbell and Aaron Shea. I talked to Aaron Shea down on the field, and he said, I was always hitting that seam route for the big plays earlier, but now they're dropping the linebacker and covering that up. We've been going to the short 6 and 8 yard hooks across the middle. Look for that today. We're going to try to establish the run, but look for that today. They haven't gone to that. I think that's an area they need to attack offensively.
Well, 2nd quarters have been a big problem. Nearly half of the points they've given up this year have come in the 2nd quarter. Now a 1st and 25. Pederson avoids the rush, throws, and wide open, it's Mark Edwards. So they get back a chunk of the yardage that they lost because of the penalties, 12 yards. And they'll spot the football just inside the 34. Edwards getting another catch. He's got 3 of them for 22 yards so far in a 2nd and 13 upcoming. Cleveland offense comes in averaging 244 yards per game, just 66 yards rushing. Both numbers last in the NFL in those respective categories. Showing blitz. Here's Pederson. Under some heat, flag down, and Pederson is thrown down. Back at the 47-yard line, Chris Slade and Greg Spires converging. Another penalty marker. And Jerry Austin once again.
Use of hands to the face. 91 defense. 5 yards. Automatic first down.
That's Bobby Hamilton.
Let's get back to the previous line of scrimmage.
So a huge break for the Browns, who were doing nothing. And an automatic first down for Chris Palmer's club.
What usually happens on a defensive lineman, they're going through their pass rush progression. They want to get their hands on the lineman's chest, make a move, and push up on the lineman to stand the offensive lineman up. A lot of times their hands get into the facial area of the offensive lineman, and they get caught for that. And that's a good penalty to call. That means that the officials are looking in the pits and looking for those penalties, which is a good thing, actually, for both sides of the ball, because, one, it prevents injuries. You don't want a hand up there hitting somebody in the eye. And, two, it's just smart football not to do that.
Well, last week, a crushing overtime loss to Buffalo, 16-13. They had 8 penalties, New England did, costing them 103 yards. Their last win came Week 8 against the Indianapolis Colts. So an automatic first down, 1st and 10, at the 34-yard line. Jamel White in the backfield. Play fake. Pederson has the time. Pederson on a crossing route. It's White. Breaks a tackle. And White is spun down at the 26-yard line by Jones. A gain of 8 through the air.
And this is a clear out. Keep your eye on Aaron Shea, the tight end. He's going to get double teamed. Watch him. He's going to take most of the defense down the field. Right here, he's going to sneak through and find a little opening. And look at the double team right here. Clears it out. One-on-one with Bruschi. Gets a step in front of him. That's the completion. You're always looking for a mismatch. Teddy Bruschi has speed, but not the speed of a Jamel White.
It'll be 2nd and 2 at the 26. Give it to White. Up the middle. There's a hole. And White is brought down at the 11. A first down for Cleveland. Oben and Bundren on that left side of the line, creating some space.
Tremendous job by the interior line. Oben, Bundren, Wallaba, right in the center. Keep an eye right here. Here's the lane. He's going to hit the sweet lane. The cutoff by Oben. The pressure on the front side. That's what you want to create running the football. Find that tunnel, seal it off on the right, seal it off on the left, and let the back hit it at 100 miles an hour.
Longest run of his career, 14 yards, and White gets it again. White on a sweep inside the 10 for a gain of 3. So Jamel White seeing a lot of action in the backfield. Chris Slade in on that stop.
You know who I'm impressed with? Chris Slade. Back spasms this week. I'm out there in pregame. He can barely get in a 3-point stance to rush the quarterback, even to run. He didn't have pads on, and he looked at me and he just waved his hand off to me like, I'm going to play, but I'm not 100%. But you got to give it to a player like that. He knows that the linebacking core is very thin for the Patriots. Somebody has to step up and go over and above, and he is today. 2
primetime defensive players for New England not even here today, McGinnis and Johnson, because of injury. On a 2nd and 7 from the 9. Off play action. On a rollout. Hits Aaron Shea. Breaks a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, Cleveland. The Browns went 14 straight quarters without a touchdown. Pederson to Shea. And Cleveland with a chance to take a 10-3 lead.
And what a nice job of sitting down by the rookie out of Michigan. He's going to go here, but he's going to sit in the area, throw him off. Now get open. You put your hands on the linebacker, take a step inside, throw him off. Now break the tackle, get into the end zone. Great job of standing up the linebacker, getting him to go one way, rolling back to the other.
Extra point from Phil Dawson and a missed tackle, which would have saved a touchdown from Lawyer Malloy. Doug Pederson, his first touchdown as a Brown. Cleveland in front. 7-play, 41-yard drive. Took up just over 5 minutes, and they score off the turnover. Darius Holland interception of a Drew Bledsoe pass. Kevin Falk on the return from the 9. Here's Falk to the sideline. Falk cutting it back and brought down at the 49-yard line. Dawson got him down low and may have saved 6. A 40-yard return. 10-3 Cleveland. 10-3 Cleveland. The Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company has dispatched its Ohio-based blimp, Spirit of Goodyear, to provide aerial views of today's game. Goodyear blimps have been appearing at sporting events since 1925. Off play action. Bledsoe finds Terry Glenn and a big gainer on first down. They pick up 15 yards. Corey Fuller with the coverage. And New England down to the 36-yard line. There's the Goodyear blimp. Blue skies overhead here in Cleveland, Ohio. And the Patriots now a 1st and 10 at the Cleveland 36. Rutledge, the tight end, sets up as a receiver. Fake the handoff. Throw it underneath to Troy Brown, and creating after the catch as he's trampled down at the 30-yard line, a gain of 6.
One thing I'm impressed with Drew Bledsoe in this offense, his fakes. He's carrying out his fakes under Charlie Weiss, the offensive coordinator, more than I've ever seen him in his career. And one, it helps the offense because it freezes the linebackers for a step on play action, and also it freezes the defensive backs on play action passes. But this is the first time in his career I've seen him fake so much and carry the fake throughout the play.
He has missed only 6 games because of injuries in his 8-year career. And a poor snap exchange. Loose football. We talked about that right thumb and how much of a hindrance it would be. Browns claim they have it. Will the officials agree? Yes. Stalin Colonnade on the recovery. First of the season for him, and 2 straight New England turnovers. This time the Patriots had something going offensively in Cleveland territory.
I had 2 things on the play. One, the snap. We talked about as the game goes on, the progression of the game, it's going to be a problem with Drew Bledsoe. But 2, after the fumbled snap, watch Drew Bledsoe. He tries to pick the ball up with his right hand. Stalin Colonnade, very strong, just takes the ball away from under the pile from Drew Bledsoe. He fights for the ball and keep fighting under the pile. And you see him, he's close to the top, but he'll go underneath and pull it away from Drew Bledsoe. Right there, you think Drew Bledsoe has the ball. Gets knocked around a little bit, doesn't have the strength in his hand to bring the ball in. Defensive tackle, Stalin Colonnade does.
On first down, Prentice is dragged down by Malloy. No gain on the play. Old habits die hard, and Bill Belichick once again huddled up with his defense moments ago. Got right in there, and the offense was on the field. Belichick was focused on making some changes defensively compared to what he has seen so far.
That's one thing about some coaches that just have it in their blood, like a Bill Belichick. You can make him a head coach, but you can't take the defensive coordinator out of him. And he wants to work with young players. He wants to work with his team because he feels he makes the best decisions as a defensive coordinator for this team.
What about Gibbs on the offensive side?
Joe Gibbs always did that. If we had our backs against the wall, he made sure we knew what he wanted us to do.
2-minute warning, 10-3. Browns leading the Patriots. Second quarter. On a 2nd and 10 now from the 31. Pederson looking to throw it over the middle to Prentice. And Prentice is brought down at the 37-yard line after the gain of 6. Rob Holmberg in on the stop. A question with the New England offense. The obvious question becomes, why no shotgun for Drew Bledsoe?
Well, they tried it before, and we talked to Drew Bledsoe about this, and he just said, nah, it just doesn't work. With Damian Woody, their center, they tried it earlier. He just isn't accurate, and they're not comfortable with that. And in a situation like this, if you're not accurate with a snap, it creates huge problems for the offense, and they just feel more comfortable with Drew getting under center.
A dime package for New England on a 3rd and 4. Pederson able to unload it. Here's Prentice with a first down catch. Out across the 45-yard line. That covers 9 yards, and Pederson wants a timeout. He'll get it with 1:14 to play in the first half. So the Browns trying to put some more points on the board before we hit halftime. They already have a 7-point advantage. Running backs have played the biggest role in the passing game so far, combined 7 catches out of the backfield.
And that just shows me as a quarterback, you don't have confidence of throwing the ball deep, and you want to nickel and dime the defense. And Doug Pederson told us, hey, I like to nickel and dime defenses and just take what I can get.
5 straight completions for Pederson, and audible with the play clock winding down. Back in the pocket again. Travis Prentice in the flat, and he crosses midfield out of bounds at the 49, a gain of 5. There's no secret in what Cleveland is doing offensively right now. They're not even looking down the field.
And they're just going to take what the defense gives them. And here you're going to see safeties deep. Over here, safeties deep. They're not giving him anything deep. He's going to look deep. There's nothing there. Hey, drop it off. Let it clear out. Let your wide receivers clear it out. Drop it off to your running back. If they're going to continue to give you the easy completions for 5- and 6-yard gains, that's just like a running play.
3 straight completions to Travis Prentice. And now a 2nd and 5. 1:08 left in the second quarter. Pederson, good protection. To the sideline. And the catch made by Northcutt. Northcutt is out of bounds at the 38. And a gain of 11. Antonio Langham had the coverage, the former Brown. And only 5 seconds come off the clock.
And even more impressive, it was to a wide receiver. What the New England defense is doing is they're dropping back soft. They're giving everything underneath to the offense. And if it's there, take advantage of it. They don't want to get beat deep. But that's a nice route by Dennis Northcutt. Goes down the seam, plants to the inside with a little fake, and comes right back to the outside.
7 straight completions for Pederson. He told us he's a veteran. He can provide leadership for this team. He's played for winning teams. On the pump fake, inside handoff. Prentice catching New England off guard. And an acceleration to the 25. A gain of 13. Dave Wollabaugh had a nice block up the middle. No huddle. And they spike the football with 47 seconds to play in the first half.
And this is a pretty play by the offense. Offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael, Chris Palmer calls the play. If you only have a couple of down line, 1, 2, 3, and you've got smaller guys here, take advantage of it. Hand it to your back. Just get some blocking up front. Create a seam for the back to hit. Positive yardage. And this is what happens on the defense. There's nobody there. Look at them. Seal it on the inside. Seal it on the right and on the left, and let your back hit it clean, because the defensive back and secondary, they're dropping off expecting pass.
On a 2nd and 10 now from the 25. Rushing yardage.
Wow.
73 today in the first half alone. On a flip to Prentice. And he is tackled quickly by Tabucky Jones. It's a loss on the play. A timeout called by Cleveland. 41 seconds left. Second quarter. So the Browns will face a 3rd and long, leading 10-3 late stages, second quarter. On a 3rd and 11 from the 26. Here's Pederson. Pederson. Plenty of time in the pocket. Throws it long and out of the end zone. Incomplete.
And I think for Doug Pederson, his internal clock went off. Had a lot of time to throw it. Nobody was open down the field to play. Let's play it safe, throw it out of the end zone. But the guys up front did an outstanding job of keeping the pressure away from him, allowing to read 2 or 3 receivers down the field to play. They weren't open. He threw it away.
So Phil Dawson with a chance to extend Cleveland's lead. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Made one earlier from 39 yards. Dawson bangs it through. And the Browns with a 13-3 lead with 30 seconds to play in the first half. Well, coming up Monday on CBS, who let these dogs out? And why did these regular guys become street thugs? To get the answer, you've got to watch the funniest King of Queens ever. That's Monday on CBS. 13-3, Browns leading the New England Patriots. Drew Bledsoe getting the start today with the injured right thumb. An interception and a mishandled snap. Poor exchange center to quarterback. 2 turnovers, and Cleveland has been able to take advantage, putting points on the board. 10 of their 13 points have come off of turnovers.
And momentum is a big point in the game, and you kind of feel like Cleveland's right at the edge now, feeling that they believe in what they're doing in this game and the philosophies in the game on both sides of the ball. Defense, they've been very solid. Offense, they've rushed the ball more in the first half than they averaged throughout an entire game.
Does Freeze get an opportunity in the second half, or does Belichick stick with Bledsoe throughout? We'll find out.
If I'm the head coach, it's John Freeze.
On a bounce. Taken at the 25. Trying to cut it upfield. Troy Brown. And now doubling back, and it cost him some yardage. Tyrone Rogers was all over it. And it turns out, after a lot of running, to be just a gain of 6. Only 20 seconds left here in the first half. Well, coming up next, the U.S. national team, including Mia Hamm and Julie Foudy, take on a lineup of international superstars at the Women's Soccer Challenge. That is coming up next here on the CBS Sports Spectacular.
Now, and if you look at the offense for New England, they really haven't generated a lot of offense. They haven't thrown the ball vertically downfield. I think a lot of that has to do with Drew Bledsoe and his injured thumb.
And they're in a 10-point hole now. 1st and 10 from the 29. Bledsoe looking to throw it. He does. And across the middle, Terry Glenn. Gain of 9 on 1st down. Jameer Miller making the stop. And they'll use a timeout with 15 seconds now left on the clock. New England still has 2 remaining, but a lot of yardage to make up to even get into field goal range. Well, in the AFC East, New England obviously, because of the amount of games they have left, feel, hey, if they go on a run, finish at 9-7, who knows? But you take a look at what their divisional record is. The one thing working for them is that the Jets and Miami have to play once more. Jets, Indianapolis have to play each other twice. Miami, Indianapolis, similar situation. Buffalo, all these teams are going to be knocking heads with one another. And maybe New England can quietly go about their business and get back into this thing. It's far-fetched, though, right now, Mark.
So it's almost like the AFC East. It's who has the chair and the last chair when the music stops.
Yeah, well, New England's got to start winning football games, including this one right here against the 2-8 Cleveland Browns. They trail 13-3. This is a 2nd and 1 movement. Bledsoe is brought down as flags come down. And some pushing and shoving after the play. Orpheus Roy knocking Bledsoe down to the grass.
You call that movement. Orpheus Roy didn't care.
Yeah.
Forget about the movement. It's like, I'm offsides. Forget about it. Let's just go ahead and tackle the quarterback anyway.
Yeah, usually you see a shift.
Defense, unabated to the quarterback. Offside. 5 yards. Result of the play.
And here's the key. If a defender comes offside, you protect your quarterback. No one protected Drew Bledsoe. Keep an eye. Here's a snap. But look how fast Orpheus Roy gets back there. If you're an offensive lineman, if a guy jumps offside, he's offside. You protect your quarterback, particularly if you have an injured quarterback.
Well, they get the 5 yards out of it. Now a 1st and 10 at the 43. Still need some long passes to get into field goal range. Bledsoe will sling one to the outside. Incomplete to Kevin Falk. And 6 seconds come off the clock. Only 9 remain.
And I still believe Drew Bledsoe does not have the strength in his right hand to throw the ball long. Here's a situation where obviously they need long yardage. They need a big play. He hasn't thrown it downfield. And I think he's afraid that he doesn't have the accuracy in his throws to go long with the football.
This New England offense, you look up and down, and they have weapons. You have a team that has Terry Glenn, Troy Brown, a nice number 2 receiver. They are 23rd in the NFL in passing with one of the premier passers in the game, Drew Bledsoe. And you scratch your head as to what has happened this year. Tight end spot, not much to speak of, and running back is still an open book with J.R. Redmond and Kevin Falk. Patriots have 1 timeout remaining. Well, coming up next Sunday, the NFL on CBS rolls out a full slate of regional games. In one matchup, Vinny and the Jets take on the AFC East leading Miami Dolphins, or Cleveland visits Tennessee. Buffalo travels to Kansas City, or the Bengals take on the Patriots in New England. Check your local listings, beginning with Jim, Randy, Craig, Jerry, Mike, and Marcus on the NFL Today. That's the NFL on CBS. Cleveland Browns Stadium, not a packed house here today. This is a great football town, but the 2-8 start has taken out some of the enthusiasm here in Cleveland. And with 9 seconds left, the Patriots facing a 2nd and 10. They'll go conservative. Up the middle, and Kevin Falk. He's tackled just shy of midfield, and that is going to do it. Unless they call the timeout. They get the timeout with 5 seconds left. So Bledsoe will have one more opportunity. And Drew Bledsoe, having a chance to speak with him yesterday, you mentioned it earlier, it is a pride factor. He's been an Iron Man at the quarterback position. But you begin to question, is it helping or hurting the team? Would a healthier John Freeze be the answer right now?
I believe so. And I've been in situations where I played with a lot of players that had streaks. I played 13 years in the league, and players just don't want to sit in their mind. Hey, I don't care how banged up I am. If I can go out there and give you 2 plays, I'm still the starter. And a lot of times it hurts your team. In this situation, I think John Freeze with a strong arm, he's not 100%. When I spoke with him early before the game, he told me he's got a bad knee. But still, I'd rather have a quarterback in there that can throw the ball for me, particularly vertical.
Well, can he reach the end zone with his bad thumb? He's got a lot of power normally in the deep passing game. And they won't even try it. Underneath to Tony Simmons, now just 1 second remaining. And You know, Mark, you and I were here last year for the Patriots-Browns matchup, and it's hard to forget what happened between Bledsoe and Terry Glenn. They were burning the Cleveland defense. Glenn had a career game. Set club records last year with 13 catches, 214 yards, including a 54-yard touchdown. Dalen McCutcheon had all he could handle last year. Today, Glenn, 3 catches, 35 yards. Hail Mary situation. And Bledsoe just finesses it outside. And that's it. Kevin Falk with a catch, gets some good yardage, but time has run out. Here in the first half, you have to question if Bledsoe can even throw the ball long. They didn't even try it. End of the first half. It's the Cleveland Browns leading the Patriots 13-3. NASDAQ.com halftime report coming up after a word from your local station.
CBA Sports presentation of the NASDAQ.com halftime report is sponsored by NASDAQ.com, the information source for the serious investor.
And hi, everybody. Jim Nance with you on the NASDAQ.com halftime report. Mike Ditka and Jerry Glanville are here with us to run through all the scores, including the one you're watching with the Browns. Mike, you called it on the NFL today. You expected a big day from the Browns. What's been the story here?
Well, what they've done basically is they've just mixed it up. They've thrown the ball effectively. They've given Pederson time to throw the ball, and they put pressure on this guy. And when they put pressure on Drew, which they've done all year, they don't block well for him. They sack him here, then they get an interception, I believe, on him right here.
One thing disappointed about New England, they could run the football. Marshall Faulk and J.R. Redmond could run, and they wouldn't keep doing it. They went back to the pass, and that got them in trouble with the Cleveland Browns. Not only running, but a little play-action pass for the touchdown.
That was Aaron Shea from Pederson. Browns with the 10-point lead at halftime. Elsewhere around the league, the Ravens lead by 10 over the Titans. Eddie George has been held in check, and look at the way they've arrived here at Philadelphia.
Oh, that was a pretty play. Delph Early goes down the field. Quadri Ishmael, 47 yards, 46 yards per touchdown. And then they come back again, and they get in from 1 yard. Jamal Lewis.
Lewis has 44 yards rushing in the
They
first.
dominated the first part of this game. Now Tennessee's coming around now, and you'll see right here, this guy's unstoppable, Mason. He has 44 yards receiving. He has 114 yards in kick return. He's playing one heck of a game.
15 seconds to go in the half, and the Titans have the ball deep in Raven territory. Meanwhile, the Eagles lead. McNabb with a touchdown pass in that game. And Cincinnati and Dallas, they'll make that Jacksonville in front here as Mark Brunell has thrown for over 200 yards in the first half. Beautiful day down in Jacksonville here. Ricky Waters getting in from a yard out.
After that first touchdown, then it became all Mark Brunell. Mark Brunell hands this one off. What a hole. I believe we could have run through.
Halftime in Cleveland, the Browns leading the Patriots 13-3. Ian Eagle along with Mark May, and our celebrities in the booth streak ends at 1. Kevin Costner last week in Chicago. Figure we could have gotten Drew Carey or something here. It didn't happen that way.
Well, we have you. You're a celebrity.
Oh, yeah, you think? Let's talk about this game in the first half. Drew Bledsoe, the thumb injury was the concern heading into this game. What were your thoughts watching him throughout the first 2 quarters?
Well, we spoke with Drew Bledsoe yesterday. Most quarterbacks take the center quarterback exchange like this with their thumbs like this. Drew Bledsoe, since his rookie year, he was interlocking his thumbs so the ball wouldn't split his hands. But now since the thumb injury, he's gone back to this. And what's happened so far in this game, he's already fumbled the ball because the ball splits between both of his hands and his injured thumb.
And a telling play late in that first half as well when Bledsoe does not throw the ball long in what normally would be a Hail Mary situation. Bledsoe could easily throw the ball 50 yards into the end zone, 45 yards. They don't even take a crack at it.
And that really surprised me because they called timeouts. They used all their timeouts to try to manage their way down the field, and they never took a shot down the field to play. Their longest pass was about 12 yards.
Which leads you to believe, second half, if nothing changes, does Freeze get an opportunity, or do the Patriots with Charlie Weiss and Bill Belichick and the medical staff making decisions along with Bledsoe decide to stick with their star QB?
Well, I believe because of their anemic running game, they're going to have to put the ball in the air, and I think their best chance to win is if John Freeze is the quarterback in the second half of the New England Patriots.
Well, there is Drew Bledsoe and his numbers, modest compared to what he's accustomed to. 6 of 12, 84 yards, has the interception. Darius Holland, first of his career. And there's Freeze, who was all ready to be the starter. Hasn't started a game since 1998 as a member of the Seattle Seahawks, October of that year. And Freeze, the experienced player. We talked to Bill Belichick about Michael Bishop locally in the Boston, New England area. A lot of fans and media would like to see Bishop in there. Bishop isn't even the third quarterback today for the first time this year. it's Tom Brady, the rookie out of Michigan. Jamel White will remain in the end zone, and a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 20 to start play here in the third. Halftime numbers, total yards, and the Browns outgain the Pats.
And the keys are their rushing attack. They're keeping their defense off the field by holding the ball, and they've rushed already more in the first half than they've averaged the entire game, but it's the turnovers. They've capitalized on both turnovers and put 10 points on the ball off those turnovers on the board.
So a 1st and 10 for the Browns at their own 20-yard line, leading 13-3. Browns are trying to snap a 7-game losing streak. Double tight end set, tight formation. On a handoff, Prentice. And he picks up a couple on first down. Chad Eaton combining with Bobby Hamilton to make that stop. We saw Prentice and White in that first half of action. Both were effective at times. Prentice more effective as a receiver, and Jamel White with a good first half running the football. 8 carries, 32 yards. Both are rookies.
Ryan, there's no question this offense definitely misses Eric Rhett. When we talked with Travis Prentice, he said he's like his big brother out there. You know, they really need him offensively. They miss him.
First half possessions, 2 punts. Gardocki not doing nearly as much work as he's been accustomed to so far this year. On a 2nd and 8 now from the 22. Here's Pederson. They handle the rush. Pederson slings it to the outside and incomplete. Kevin Johnson and Aaron Shea were both in the area. Well, this offense is not the one that Chris Palmer envisioned when the season started. The Cleveland Clinic. You like the cartoon, huh?
That's great.
Our broadcast associate, Mark Burkhart, doing a nice job. You see Couch, Dawson, Patton, Pine, Eric Rhett, all starters that have been injured throughout the season. All of them out for the year except for David Patton, but this toe injury just isn't going away for the free agent out of the Giants organization. Pederson throws into traffic, incomplete. And the Browns will punt. Kevin Johnson again the intended target, and Ty Law is shaken up.
And with all the injuries on defense, 2 starters, Willie McGinnis and Ted Johnson, starting linebacker and defensive end, are out, didn't make the trip. And for Ty Law to be injured, that's huge for this football team. They just don't have the depth. And coming across the middle, this ball is forced in the middle to wide receiver Kevin Johnson. It's just a collision.
Ty Law had 45 or 50 people make the trip from Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. What's that, about an hour and a half from here, in that range?
About an hour and a half. It's about 15 minutes outside of the city of Pittsburgh. Tony Dorsett, Aliquippa, Pennsylvania.
Actually, Law went to high school with Anthony Dorsett. You say Dorsett, I say Dorsett.
I went to school at that time and it was Dorsett. Then they changed it to Dorsett,
Yeah.
and I just go with what was there. And you know, Danny Marino, I call him Danny. Everybody calls him Dan Marino.
Right.
Well,
You call Joe Theismann Theismann?
I
still,
call
or
him
no?
I call him Theismann. That changed in college. It was Theismann. He changed for the Heisman, went to Theismann, but I still call him Theismann.
On 4th down, here's Gardocki to the sideline, and Troy Brown brings it in out of bounds. Patriots will have the football after the 42-yard punt. Right around the 35-yard line for Drew Bledsoe to operate this New England offense. Official word from the Patriots sideline. Ty Law just had the wind knocked out of him. He's okay. His team, though, is in a 10-point hole. 13-3. Patriots with their first possession of the second half. 13:56 mark, third quarter. On a 1st and 10, Bledsoe floats it to the outside, and Tony Simmons able to get just about to the marker. We'll see where they spot it, either a gain of 9 or 10. Courtney Brown with a stop. And you see the first half possessions. Inauspicious start. 2 punts and negative yardage for the New England offense. And you see in yellow, interception and fumble, the 2 turnovers that have led to 10 Cleveland points. They'll call it a 2nd and short, or will it be a 1st and 10? It is a 1st and 10. Brown, the motion man, draw play, flag down. And wrapped up in the backfield. J.R. Redmond did not have room to work with.
Offside, defense, number 90, 5 yards, repeat first down.
Keith McKenzie jumping.
That wasn't even close. Keith McKenzie just didn't stop when he jumped offside, but the turnovers for the Patriots.
Well, Bledsoe throwing, and Darius Holland knocking it up in the air and then into his chest area. And there's the exchange. Damian Woody to Bledsoe. They coughed up the football, and the Browns able to capitalize on both. On a handoff for J.R. Redmond. And Redmond is finally brought down, pushing the pile forward. Down at the 33-yard line. So Redmond, a well-earned 16-yard run. And New England moving the ball deeper into Cleveland territory.
It's a nice job of blocking right in the middle. It gets sealed on both sides. No one touches J.R. Redmond until he gets 10 yards with the football. He almost loses it there, but he has the foresight to hang on to the ball. Look at all the brown jerseys and the white jerseys. There's a lot of pounds, a lot of beef on that, and he gets injured on the play.
Now the poundage that you talked about on top of J.R. Redmond, and now it's Redmond lying on his back. Kevin Falk would step in.
And I've been under some of those piles before. You talk about 1,000 pounds. It's like 3,000 pounds when it hits you and you just get leveled to the ground.
I can't relate, Mark. Never been in that situation in my life. We'll step aside. Medical staff taking a look at J.R. Redmond. Rookie running back J.R. Redmond able to jog off the field. Appears to be okay. 13-3 Cleveland in front. 1st and 10 for New England. At the Browns 33, deep drop, Bledsoe, timing pattern, separation for Falk, and it's incomplete. He had Falk open.
And this is a perfect play for Drew Bledsoe to check out his accuracy. Here he gets tremendous protection. Here's the blitz in the middle by Wally Rayner. He stands in the pocket tall, looks off receivers, finds his guy wide open. He can drop this ball in the basket and just throws it too far for Kevin Falk to come down with the reception.
And Bledsoe knew it. Golden opportunity. Goes by the boards.
And if Drew Bledsoe is healthy, that's a touchdown.
2nd and 10 now. Falk remains in the backfield. Play fake. Bledsoe. On the flip. It's Rutledge. And Rutledge is brought down from behind. Just short of the first down. Jameer Miller making the tackle. A gain of 9. Well, last week, Drew Bledsoe against the Buffalo Bills, jamming his thumb on the helmet of Bills linebacker Sam Rogers. The reaction, and we spoke with him yesterday. We asked him, did you know right away? He said, I knew there was a problem there, but I remained in the game, ended up playing another series, and then it was just too painful and he couldn't grip the football.
And he said he threw one ball that was an easy completion and threw it about 12 yards high. Then he knew he had a problem.
On 3rd and 1, Tony Carter. And a first down for New England. He picks up 2 yards. He needed just 1. So a new set of downs for New England to work with. They are shy of the 20. Line of scrimmage will be the 22. Drew Bledsoe. 15-plus yards. Nothing. And with Terry Glenn and Tony Simmons, another deep threat, that's uncharacteristic.
Those are guys that need to get the ball downfield, and I think he's going to have to press in the second half to get the ball. That's where he may have problems because of the accuracy, because of the thumb injury. We go back to that because this is not Drew Bledsoe.
On a rollout, Bledsoe incomplete. He was looking for Brown.
And on the other hand, I think if you look at the defenders, Daylon McCutcheon, Corey Fuller, he was a strong safety last year. I think they've really stepped up because they felt that they were embarrassed last year in the big game by Aaron Glenn and the rest of the receivers for the New England Patriots. But right here, Daylon McCutcheon, the ball's thrown behind Troy Brown, and that's accuracy again. And I keep alluding to it because that's a problem. You know, if you can't throw the ball where your wide receiver expects it, where you practice putting it, that becomes a problem for the offense.
Those are throws that Bledsoe normally could make in his sleep. On 2nd and 10. Here's Brown, the motion man. They'll throw it underneath to him. Brown, after the catch, picks up some yardage, gets it inside the 20 for a gain of 5. Miller and Roy collaborating to make that stop. We talked to Troy Brown about his teammate Terry Glenn's new contract. Glenn receiving a 6-year extension reportedly worth $50 million, an $11.5 million signing bonus.
Wow.
We asked Troy, Terry, buy a dinner, get you anything? He said, bought me a new cell phone.
But he didn't tell us if Terry Glenn paid for the plan.
Yeah, we don't know if he's paying for the plan or not. That's a good point. That should have been a follow-up question. That's our fault. On 3rd and 5. In the red zone, here's Bledsoe throwing across and caught. First down, New England, as Glenn was able to break free for a gain of 11. They will spot the football at the 6.
Now this slant pattern on the outside, it's a great pass. Here's the break right across the middle of the field. Look where the ball's placed. Right there. Great concentration. Dalen McCutcheon is all over the wide receiver Terry Glenn, but the pressure in the pocket. Drew Bledsoe waiting to the last minute, putting the ball exactly where it has to be placed. That's vintage Drew Bledsoe.
Dalen McCutcheon goes to the sideline, may have had his bell rung 2 plays ago. On a pitch, Falk can't handle it and can't scoop it up. Recovered by Orpheus Roy. Falk has had fumble problems this year, and it's cost this New England offense in the red zone once again. 3rd Patriots turnover.
And that's one of the reasons why he was sat down last week after his second carry. First one 2 yards, second one he fumbled. But let's keep an eye on Drew Bledsoe in the pitch to make sure this pitch is where it should be, because here's the pitch to the outside. It's out in front of Kevin Falk. That's both of them. That's one, Kevin Falk not concentrating on the ball. 2, quarterback Drew Bledsoe not getting that ball where it should be, where his running back can get the ball. Here's another look at it. Right there, that ball's thrown out in front of him and fast. If that ball's thrown slower and down, he should catch it and take off with it.
On first down for Cleveland, Jamel White. They could not string it to the outside, and Rob Holmberg was the first man there. Loss of 1 on the play. The other issue as well, if you're Kevin Falk, you lose the football. He didn't think about just jumping on top of it. He thought about the scoop, trying to make up for the mistake. Don't worry about the yardage at that point. You're still deep in Cleveland territory.
And that's a young player's mistake. And older veterans, they don't care about picking it up and making a play. They are smart and just want to cover the football and make sure that you have the ball. His 5th fumble this season.
And a costly one for New England. Pederson dinking and dunking all day long. Jamel White. And a shuffle cut to the 25 for a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd and 6. Henry Thomas with the tackle.
Teddy Bruschi, look at the eyes. Concentration, intensity, dropping off into a zone. All of a sudden, the ball's dinked out of the side. Get to the football. Tremendous speed. Breaks down just before the tackle. That's great defensive play. He's
made himself into a player. You know, you think back to 2, 3, 4 years ago, he was still looking for a role in the NFL. He has made himself into a player.
A lot of hard work, going from a down position to a linebacker position, and now he's comfortable there.
On 3rd and 6, see if the Patriots defense can come up with a big play. Pederson in trouble. Pederson flushed out of the pocket, throwing on the run, and complete. Dennis Northcutt with a first down catch. Buying some extra time, and Pederson able to hit the open man, Northcutt. Henry Thomas was the man providing the heat.
Now 2 great plays. Keep an eye on Doug Pederson. He'll step up, slide shuffle, get to the outside, break, look downfield for his receiver, and there you saw his right hand. Dennis Northcutt puts up his right hand and says, throw me the ball. They're on the same page. You work this out in practice, but that's a tremendous play by both quarterback and wide receiver of being on the same page with communication.
A first down at the 38-yard line. Northcutt, who had the wind knocked out of him earlier, returning for a big 3rd down catch. Long ball on a go pattern. And not even close. Kevin Johnson step for step with Ty Law. Law told us yesterday, I am going to be physical with Kevin Johnson. I know he doesn't like it.
And he believes that because he looked at the game last year. He could get right on the line of scrimmage, jam him, toss him around, because Kevin Johnson's not very big. 5'11", 195. He told us, he said, I'm going to treat him like a Marvin Harrison. Not a very big back that's going to pressure you, a wide receiver that'll pressure you. I'll get up in his face and make him earn every step down the field to play.
Clock stops with 7:23 left in the 3rd. Doug Pederson. This is by far the best he has looked as a Cleveland quarterback since taking over for Tim Couch. Just shy of 100 yards on the day. He'll go over 100 now. The pass to Mark Edwards, bouncing off a tackler and forced to the sideline. A gain of 6. Greg Spires in on the stop.
And for Doug Pederson, when we talked to him, we talked to head coach Chris Palmer. Both of them felt that last week, even though they got beat by the New York Giants, only scored 3 points, that they really progressed in the offense. He made better reads at the line of scrimmage, better audibles at the line of scrimmage. He felt more comfortable in the offense, and they felt like that was really the first step in their progression.
You know, we talked earlier about New England fans wanting to see Michael Bishop. There are a lot of Browns fans that want to see more of Spurgeon Wynn, rookie out of Southwest Texas State, a Division I AA school. Palmer told us he's not ready yet. Pederson, quick throw. Catch made by Damon Dunn. And he is tackled right away. On 3rd down, they are able to move the chains. Otis Smith with the coverage. They picked up 6.
And this is a big area for the Cleveland Browns' third down conversions. They're absolutely horrendous in the NFL, dead last. Here, 50% on third down. They're finding a way to make the 3rd and short work in their advantage. Usually this team is in 3rd and long situations. They've been able to pick up positive yardage on 1st and 2nd down, so it's not a 3rd and 8 or 9. It's 3rd and 5 or less.
It has not been the normal game for the Browns. Things that they have really struggled in this year, they have done well today. Off the bootleg. Pederson throwing on the run and fires to the outside, incomplete. Turnovers, their ratio coming into the day, -8. They are +3 today, the Browns are. And you see the receiving numbers here this afternoon. Edwards and Prentice leading the way as Pederson is trying to spread the wealth.
Now that is spreading the wealth and spreading it out, but the question in this offense, Kevin Johnson. They try to get him the ball a few times. The defense of the New England Patriots, I think they've got a mindset. We're not going to let Kevin Johnson beat us.
Johnson coming off a 5-catch, 76-yard performance last week against the Giants. And this is a 2nd and 10 from the 50. Pederson short drop. A high throw, and there's Johnson on cue. Trying to turn it upfield for extra yardage, and now he's gang tackled. They'll give him forward progress for a gain of 7. Ty Law was involved.
And going back to that play, he was out there by himself trying to pick up positive yardage, and he was against 5 white jerseys of the New England Patriots. But I like at the end of the play, you're seeing the Cleveland Browns take that next step as a team. He had 4 players in the brown jerseys of the Browns rush over and try to get an additional block for him down the field to play.
Johnson, best rookie wide receiver in the NFL last season. Actually attended Syracuse as a quarterback. They converted him to wide receiver, and obviously it's paid off for him. On a 3rd and 3, another 3rd down conversion for Pederson to deal with. Throwing. Incomplete. It should have been caught by Northcutt. So the Patriots avoid another 1st down. Only because Northcutt couldn't hold on to the football.
And he was looking to run with the ball before he caught the ball. It's a little high, but if he concentrates on the ball, and he knows it, he's looking at his quarterback, Doug Pederson, after this pass, good protection. The ball's catchable right there. You're supposed to catch it and run with it. He doesn't catch it first. He's thinking about turning it up and making a big play.
So the Browns will punt it with Chris Gardocki, one of the best in the business. Troy Brown, equally as good in his role as a punt returner. And a fair catch at the 20-yard line. So the Browns have nothing to show for their latest turnover, but they still lead. 13-3, Browns leading it. Injuries for Cleveland again beginning to pile up. Dalen McCutcheon, mild concussion. He is not in there. Lamar Chapman has stepped in. Normally the backup is Lewis Sanders, but Sanders himself is out with an ankle injury. On a 1st and 10, Kevin Falk turning it upfield in a modest gain. Keith McKenzie combining with Corey Fuller. And the report on J.R. Redmond, a chest injury. His return is questionable as well. That's why Falk is out there. Whenever the Goodyear blimp is hovering above a game with its camera focused on an event, you know you're going to get a unique view. That's what we're getting here today. Overhead, the blimp Spirit of Goodyear here in Cleveland. On a 2nd and 8. Long count for Bledsoe. Bledsoe, sideline route. Caught by Glenn. Will they give it to him? Yes, they will. Short of a 1st down. It'll be 3rd and about 2. NFL Today report. Let's go to New York right now. Jim Nantz.
Ian, the Jags have been tied by Seattle. They've come back from 14 down. Kitna to Mays to tied at 21, late 3rd. Back to you.
Now the Jacksonville Jaguars trying to salvage their season at home against the Seahawks. Patriots in a similar situation. They're on the road, trailing 13-3. A 3rd and 2 for this Patriots offense. Bledsoe, moving pocket, thrown to the sideline, and incomplete. Lamar Chapman getting a piece, stepping in for Dalen McCutcheon. Troy Brown could not bring it in cleanly, and the Patriots will punt.
The Patriots go with their dash play action where Bledsoe rolls to the right, but a great play by Chapman right at the exact moment before the ball is to the receiver. An outstanding defensive play. Slaps the ball away right in front of Troy Brown. That's a perfect play. They don't get any better than that.
Bledsoe now 11 of 20 throwing the football. Lee Johnson's punt taken by Northcutt at the 26, and he's brought down. To Bucky Jones in on the stop. A 46-yard punt and a 1-yard return. And there is a penalty on the play. Wonder if that was illegal man downfield. We'll find out.
Ineligible downfield on the kick in the middle of the line. 5 yards, replay, 4th down.
Well, they'll punt it again. Patriots mistakes. We talked about the penalties from last week. They had 8 of them. And now 4 penalties on Bill Belichick's club here today. You know, I mentioned earlier that Cleveland hadn't done anything with that turnover. They couldn't take advantage of it. You made mention of it during the break. They use clock, and in a game like this, that might be enough.
That's huge. Plus, they gain field position, and that's important because they back the Patriots up. In this situation, Dennis Northcutt, been very close. Doesn't have a big return yet, but he's been very close. Bill Belichick told us, hey, we've got to contain Northcutt because we don't want him to break the big one against us. Has a lot of moves when he returns it. I think he's just got to take the ball and head straight ahead. Forget the moves until you have to use them. Get positive yardage right away.
Northcutt's longest return, 22 yards. He'll get another opportunity here, standing at his own 33. Here's the veteran, 16th year, Lee Johnson. Another penalty flag. Northcutt backpedaling all the way to the 26. Northcutt, he is hammered as he gets it out to the 37. Ulrich Johnson, first man there on special teams for New England. Are we doing this again?
We are. It's going to be a hold on New England. Raheem Abdullah, the backup linebacker, who is a starter, is now injured, and the backup on special teams was held on the play.
Holding on the kicking team, number 30, 10 yards, replay, 4th down.
That's Tony Carter, the starting fullback. And Bill Belichick will have to watch his punting unit do it all over again.
And it's got to be frustrating now for Bill Belichick. He always likes a disciplined team, a disciplined defense, but his team continues to make mistakes and penalties that cost you in close games. They've lost a lot of close games. We talked about this before. That's what hurts you as a team.
Well, backing things up. Line of scrimmage will be the 12, and now Lee Johnson will stand in his own end zone. Northcutt has moved forward all the way to the 45. Lonnie Paxton, the snapper. Johnson. Line drive. Pretty good one. Northcutt from the 35. Has some room. Has an opening. Northcutt trying to break it and brought down at the 35-yard line. A 31-yard return for Northcutt, longest of his career. And the Browns will have a 1st and 10 at the New England 35. You called it, Mr. May. Dennis Northcutt giving Cleveland tremendous field position. Cleveland Browns with the lead and the football. 3:18 to play in the 3rd quarter and a 1st and 10 at the New England 36. Travis Prentice accelerating through the hole, and he takes it to the 31 for a gain of 5. Rob Holmberg with the tackle. This punt return nearly went the distance.
And Lee Johnson in his 16th season, right now he's got the big eyes because he's saying, oh my God, I'm the last line of defense. Please trip. And he does trip. He trips just before he gets him, but he's going to go to the sidelines and tell his team, I intimidated him. Did you see me? That was me. All me.
Well, Johnson had a punt 3 times until they were able to do one without the penalty. And another injury now for the Cleveland Browns. This time it's Jim Bundren, starting left guard. Took over for Jim Pine, who was a former Patriot. Pine was lost earlier this season, very early in fact. And Bundren will now be able to sit up. Get live updates each NFL game. As it happens, just click on live scores at cbs.sportsline.com. Steve Zahersky would shift over and play guard, and James Brown, the former Jet and Dolphin, would step forward and play right tackle, and that's the way it's going to have to be, as Bundren cannot put any weight on that right leg.
Now, you know what's strange to me? James Brown, the backup tackle, had his best years in Miami, and really, as an offensive lineman, your 7th, 6th, 7th, 8th year, that's the prime of your career.
Yeah.
And you would think he'd be able to crack the starting lineup here in Cleveland, but he hasn't been able to.
Well, some felt he would start this week over Zahersky, who had a tough time with Michael Strahan last week, and now Brown will get his opportunity on 2nd and 5. Pederson slings to the sideline, and Kevin Johnson. First down, Browns inside the 25. That's a gain of 7.
And one thing you're going to have to agree with me, Doug Pederson, his passes aren't perfect.
No.
But he's working with his, they're always high, they're to the outside, they're a little low, but his receivers are coming up with big plays, and it's just enough to get first downs and pick up positive yardage.
It's mostly short and intermediate routes. Every now and again, he'll keep the New England defense honest with a long ball here or there. Counting down to 2 minutes remaining in the third. Play action. Pederson fires. Caught by Northcutt at the 20. And a gain of 5 if they give him forward progress. We'll see where they spot it. So Dennis Northcutt came in with 26 catches this season, his rookie year out of Arizona. And Northcutt today, 4 catches for 32 yards.
And he's the guy, when I talked to offensive coordinator Pete Carmichael, he makes a lot of moves as soon as he gets the ball, so he's just taking it, turning it upfield, get positive yardage, make your move when you have to, but he's really picking up the offense and the speed of the NFL game, particularly the last 3 or 4 games.
On 2nd and 6, Prentice. He picks up 2. Lawyer Malloy in on the stop. Down to 1:35 to play in the third. Now this New England Patriots team at 2-7 must have looked at the schedule after a brutal first half and said to themselves, well, here's where we can at least start piling some victories. Cleveland Browns on the schedule. Home for Cincinnati next week. The problem is they trail 13-3 as we wind down here in the third. On a 3rd and 4, third down conversions, Cleveland has been much better today than they have been throughout the year. On a handoff for Prentice. And he only picks up 1. So the Browns will settle for the field goal. Bruschi and Eaton combining on that stop.
And one thing about Chris Palmer, he knows in the back of his mind, that's the 51st play his offense has run. He's wearing down the New England defense. He knows they've got problems with depth. Starters aren't playing today. He figures if he can just keep punching them in the mouth, they'll wilt sooner or later. So far, it's worked for the Cleveland Browns.
Phil Dawson, 2 of 2 today. This is a 35-yard attempt. Trying to give the Browns a 13-point lead, and Dawson nails it. 16-3, Cleveland. 20 seconds left, third quarter. Cleveland Browns with a 16-3 lead on the New England Patriots. You'd say to yourself, 16 points, that's not all that much. Well, for Cleveland, it is. Last 4 weeks combined, they scored 16. Kevin Falk off the kickoff, and Falk is forced to the outside. And out of bounds at the 27-yard line. 18-yard return, Rashidi Barnes in on the stop. And Drew Bledsoe continues to run this offense for New England. Bill Belichick in his return to Cleveland. First time here since 1995. Belichick led this Browns team to the playoffs in 1994. A wild card victory over Bill Parcells and the Patriots 20-13. Ended up losing to Pittsburgh in the playoffs, an 11-5 season. Under a lot of heat because of the relationship with Bernie Kosar. We'll talk about that. Bledsoe standing tall in the pocket, knocked up in the air, and complete to Rutledge. So a bounce finally goes the Patriots' way. And they pick up 9. Jameer Miller. He's the man that was able to deflect it. End of the third. 16-3 Browns will return to Cleveland after this word from your local station. Ian Eagle, Mark May, our entire CBS crew with you from Cleveland today. The Browns leading the Patriots 16-3 as we start play in the fourth. New England on a 2nd and 1. Bledsoe under pressure, coughs up the football, and another turnover. Marcus Spriggs on the recovery. And it's been that kind of day for Drew Bledsoe. You can forget about the thumb for a moment if you don't have protection.
Stalin Collinet, one-on-one, just beats the offensive lineman, nails him right in the back. Keep an eye right here. He's going to go right after Bledsoe. It's a quick swim move over the right guard, Joe Andruzzi, and he's right back to Bledsoe. Bledsoe does not see him, comes from the backside, strips the ball from the quarterback, and it's recovered. Great job on the backside of just going around the offensive lineman, using your hands, and nailing the quarterback in the back where he can't see you, knocking the ball loose. Good hustle by Marcus Spriggs on the recovery.
And now the Browns take over. 1st and 10 at the New England 32. 4th Patriot turnover. Just underway in the 4th. Pederson airing it out to the end zone. Incomplete. Northcutt stuck with it, but could not bring it in. He was looking for a penalty. Otis Smith with the coverage. And the fans here were looking for the yellow flag as well.
Well, the Bears are going to let him fight for the ball. Here he is, one-on-one with Otis Smith. And it's just a fly route straight down the field. Just run straight ahead. Try to get position. There's the ball. He has positioning, but he gets tripped up right there. I don't know if that's a big push. I think he just trips, staggering, trying to get to the ball.
Yeah, I'm going to go with you on that. Looking at it live, it looked a lot worse than seeing it on replay. Didn't appear to be much in terms of the two bumping. Draw play. Here's Jamel White, unable to squeeze through a hole, and he picks up 2. Down to the 30-yard line, Garrett Johnson, a third-string defensive lineman, making the stop. Right now, let's head to New York. Jim Nantz has an NFL Today report. Jim.
Ian, keep an eye on the Dallas kicker here, Tim Cedar. Yes, dashing up the middle on a fake field goal like Emmitt Smith. Put the Cowboys up 11. Back to Ian and Mark.
That's impressive.
He's about the size of Emmitt Smith. Do you see the size of that kicker?
Oh, man, that is impressive. I like that play.
That was ingenious.
On a 3rd and 8. Protection. Pederson's got it. Throws. Coming back for the football is Kevin Johnson. And will it be enough for the first down? Ty Law had the coverage. Should be enough if they give him forward progress. And it is a first down for the Browns. So Johnson getting more involved in the offense.
And it's more of the comebacks. And right now he knows if Ty Law is going to play off, I want to push him down the field, plant, turn around and come back for the ball. That's the only way I can create a seam between myself and the defender. And that's the only way that Kevin Johnson's been able to get open the entire day. They won't let him get deep.
How about this Cleveland team on 3rd downs today? 7 of 14 converting them into first downs.
That's impressive. Against anyone, that's impressive for Cleveland.
Play action on 1st down. Pederson airing it out to the corner. Diving attempt by Edwards, and it's incomplete. Chad Eaton able to get into the pocket and lay a hit on Doug Pederson.
And for Doug Pederson, if he gets another split second to take his time and put this ball where it could be, this is a touchdown. It's a huge play. It's just over his hands. One-on-one with Chris Slade. Mark Edwards beats him, but quarterback Doug Pederson just doesn't get enough time in the pocket to set the ball exactly where he would like to.
It'll be 2nd and 10 from the 21. Eaton has shifted over on the defensive line today because of the injury to Willie McGinnis. They've made some changes. Belichick has been mixing and matching throughout. On 2nd down, Jamel White. Little juke move, and the Patriots were ready. Lawyer Malloy leading the charge, a gain of 2 for the rookie out of South Dakota.
Now, you know what's surprising to me? Henry Thomas, 93 career sacks, starting at nose guard today, has 4 sacks this year. Very quiet today. Now, he's usually an active player in the interior line, does a great job between the tackles, but not much out of him today. The Cleveland interior line has done an outstanding job, particularly center Dave Willema.
Thomas, a Pro Bowler in 1991, 92, former Viking and Lion. And now a 3rd down and 8. Crowding the line of scrimmage, and Pederson may call a timeout. He will. Play clock was winding down, and Pederson will go to the sideline, get on the same page as the coaching staff. 12:33 mark, 4th quarter. Browns already have a 13-point lead and a chance to get more. See what the Browns have done in the red zone today. Last week, 3 red zone appearances. They had to settle for 2 field goals. Throwing. Incomplete. Aaron Shea, the intended receiver, and considering what New England has done offensively today, if Cleveland put a touchdown on the board in that spot, this game may have been over.
They could have put the hammer right in the lid. And right here, he's trying to force the ball to Aaron Shea. He has positioning. He's turned looking at the ball. He's being covered on the play down the field by Chris Slade. He just can't turn on the ball. But if he turns back for the ball, this is a great catch if he can keep his eyes on it. Rob Holmberg was doing the coverage down the field. But I'll tell you what, Aaron Shea, that's a player I think they've got to force feed in the red zone. Tight ends are so big in the red zone, they're tough to defend for a linebacker.
Phil Dawson, 35-yard field goal, and he connects. So it's a 19-3 lead for Cleveland. And a 16-point disparity means that New England would need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. Or just some points in general. Patriots have to just move the football. It's kicking it off after the Phil Dawson field goal, and Kevin Falk. Returnable kick from the 6. Stutter step. Here's Falk. Spin move to the 19, and that's it. Raymond Jackson was all over it on special teams for the Cleveland Browns. 4 New England turnovers, and they have been killers for Bill Belichick's team. Back in Cleveland, head coach of the Browns from 1991 to 1995, and he told us one of the reasons it may not be as emotional as you may think is that this is a different organization. Art Modell is not here. Al Lerner, Carmen Policy, part of upper management, and you see the opinions of those in the Cleveland area.
He told us the only thing that's the same are the uniforms.
Over the middle, Terry Glenn. And a first down for New England out across the 30-yard line. And you think back to the time spent here, Belichick made a very difficult decision. He decided to go with Vinny Testaverde over Bernie Kosar, who was just loved and revered in this area. And that is one of the major reasons why Browns fans have been so bitter. Bledsoe throwing again, low throw. And Glenn could not bring it in.
Brian, going back to that decision by Bill Belichick, he was right. Down the road, Bernie Kosar really wasn't a starter for anybody.
Yep.
Really wasn't an impact player at that point. But unfortunately, if you're a local hero, it's tough for the fans to digest if you're going to take your local hero and say, he can't do it anymore.
And now you look at it with Testaverde, he has turned himself into a star quarterback. Up the middle it goes for the Patriots, and Kevin Falk getting the carry for a gain of 6. You know, the fact that the Browns moved to Baltimore had very little to do with Belichick. He was thrown into a lame duck situation. And the team, having gone to the playoffs the year before, certainly underachieved in their final year. On 3rd and 4, Bledsoe throwing and broken up. Corey Fuller in a matchup with Simmons. It's 4th down for New England, and this offense has been stagnant.
A fabulous play by Corey Fuller. Defensive coordinator Romeo Crennel has put an outstanding defensive game plan together for this game. Watch him break on the ball. He sees the wide receiver slow down. As soon as the wide receiver and Tony Simmons slows down, that's the point where the defender's going to break on the ball because he knows the ball's most likely coming to the wide receiver. There's Romeo Crennel. Spent 20 years with Bill Belichick on and off coaching together in various places, and they're still pretty good friends.
And he was the defensive line coach of the New England Patriots from 93 to 96. On the punt return, Northcutt nearly broke one last return, and this time he spins it out to the 27-yard line. To Bucky Jones with a tackle on special teams. It's a 10-yard return, and it's 19-3 Cleveland. Browns have the football in a 19-3 lead with 11:04 to play in the 4th quarter. Cleveland looking to snap a 7-game losing streak. On the ground for Travis Prentice, and he's able to pick up a yard. Comes up shy of the 30. Lawyer Malloy with a stop along with Garrett Johnson. If Cleveland can run the football effectively, this game's over.
And they've been doing a decent job, particularly running the ball, not big chunks, but throwing the ball. They're using their passing game, their short passing game, like a running game. They get 4 yards here, 5 yards here. That's just as good as a run. And, you know, when we talked to Dalen McCutcheon, he told us point blank, their goal was to go to the playoffs. They felt last year they were in some close games, that if they could win those close games this year, they may have a shot of at least winning 8-9 games, but with the injuries, it hasn't been big.
On a double tight end set, Travis Prentice. A gain of 1. Bobby Hamilton making the stop. Well, Chris Palmer has come under fire here in the Cleveland area because the fans wanted to see a winner in year 2. You make comparisons year 1 to year 2. They won 2 games last year. Chance to win their 3rd here today. And the numbers Fairly similar. Time of possession is the biggest one. How does a team average 22 minutes and 28 seconds time of possession?
3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
That's it. And there's Carmen Policy and Al Lerner, president and owner, respectively, watching from the luxury box here at Cleveland Brown Stadium. Pederson on 3rd and 8. Incomplete. He had Shea open. And Kato Serwanga able to break it up.
Now, going back to the story about Chris Palmer being under fire, and I think it's ridiculous. This is an expansion team. You don't have any depth. You don't have the players. It takes time to build an expansion team in the NFL. I think he's done a great job from year 1 to year 2. One of acquiring players. And first, I don't care what coach you are. If you don't have the players, you don't win.
And I'll question you this way. How many teams in the NFL have lost their starting quarterback and their backup quarterback because of injuries for the whole season?
And their starting running back and wide receiver and on and on.
Troy Brown on the return. Not only Tim Couch, but don't forget Ty Detmer lost in the preseason and forced to go with Doug Pederson, who wasn't even on this roster in training camp. Downtown Cleveland on a Sunday afternoon, 19-3. The Browns leading the New England Patriots. And New England beginning to run out of time here with 9.5 to play, trailing by 16. 4 receivers for the Patriots on a 1st and 10 from the 27. Set it up, Kevin Falk. Yards after the catch, and he's got a first down to the 40-yard line. Percy Ellsworth will be given credit for the stop. A 13-yard gain for Falk through the air. You wonder also with New England, we're talking about Cleveland, I don't know if the Patriots are going to have a quick fix situation. They have salary cap problems. On 1st and 10 from the 39, Bledsoe. Easy pass to Falk, and it's good for 8 yards. Lamar Chapman with the stop. When Bill Belichick took over this team, they were $11 million over the salary cap. No first-round pick, no depth.
I'll tell you what, when you've got 3 players, and Terry Glenn, which just got a $50 million contract, Ty Law, and Lori Malloy, that's like $130 million.
Bledsoe to Falk again, padding his numbers as he crosses the 45, and the Browns defense just letting this happen.
Right now they're playing a soft defense, and what that means is it's a prevent defense. We'll give you everything underneath, make you complete it, tackle you in bounds, and eat up the clock.
And one of my favorite sayings in the NFL, it also prevents you from winning oftentimes. Because you change your whole philosophy. Bledsoe pump fake, slings it to the sideline, and Falk again. It's the same play over and over for New England.
And what this does is, one, it takes the momentum away from your defense. You're used to playing a certain type of attack defense during the game. Now all of a sudden you're playing soft, playing back a little bit, and the offense is taking advantage of it. So I think they have to go back to what they do best and start getting after Drew Bledsoe.
On a 2nd and 2. Harold Shaw is now in the backfield, and Shaw will get the carry. Shaw out to the 30-yard line. And that's good for a first down. Keith McKenzie with a stop, a gain of 5. Shaw carrying the football for just the 7th time this season. The fullbacks don't get that involved in the offensive game plan.
And you've got 3 fullbacks, Tony Carter, Chris Floyd, and Harold Shaw, in their entire career, 1 touchdown combined.
Bledsoe looking for the touchdown. Deep ball to the end zone. Nearly intercepted by Fuller, and he knows it. Tony Simmons was the target.
Corey Fuller turned into wide receiver, almost made a phenomenal catch by adjusting to the football, but that ball is overthrown by quarterback Drew Bledsoe. There's no doubt about it. Here's the play on the ball. Nice try by Corey Fuller, but for Drew Bledsoe, we talked about his accuracy. Hasn't thrown the deep ball. His longest completion was just before halftime, 25 yards, and that was a garbage pickup just before halftime.
Bledsoe up the middle, and Glenn can't bring it in. Dalen McCutcheon trying to put the nightmares of a year ago out of his mind when he could not handle Glenn. He has done his job today. McCutcheon left the game earlier with a mild concussion, obviously has returned.
And that's stepping up to the plate for Dalen McCutcheon. And the reason why is he was embarrassed last year. They took him to task as a rookie. He's grown. He's gotten better in his 2nd year, and he's met the challenge today.
Patriots need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions as it currently stands, trailing 19-3. On a 3rd and 10 at the Cleveland 30. 4 Patriot turnovers today. Bledsoe steps up, throws, and brought in at the 20 by Simmons. He was pushed backward. That should be enough for the first down, and it will be. They'll move the chains. And a critical throw made by Bledsoe.
and a tremendous job of pass protecting, keeping him away from quarterback Drew Bledsoe, where he can step up and throw the ball, and it's a wobbly pass at that. And, Drew Bledsoe throws zings. He throws bullets. He just doesn't have it today with his injured thumb.
Lets one fly to the sideline, and Kevin Falk. And Falk is out of bounds at the 11. It's a gain of 8.
And the defense, you have to put a man on Kevin Falk. He's not going to hurt you by the run. He's going to catch it out of the backfield. He leads all AFC backs on third down receptions. He's great at screens. You've got to put a defender on him every play. One-on-one, shell him, take him out of the equation.
Handoff for Falk, putting the helmet down and getting the first down. Inside the 10, he gains 3. Falk today, 7 catches, 89 yards. 5 carries, 26 yards. Replacing the injured J.R. Redmond. Left with a chest injury. Here's Bledsoe. Stepping up. Bledsoe looking to run it. Bledsoe tackled before he hits the goal line. On a 1st and goal, Bledsoe was able to run it. And he was brought down at the 2. Earl Little with a stop. Gain of 7.
And here's Drew Bledsoe. He looks down the field to play. There's no one open. You're starting to get pressure from the defensive line. Everyone's covered. Pull it down and run with it. And that's one thing Drew Bledsoe, we talked about it before, he's gotten so much better at running the football. He has 2 rushing touchdowns this year, and now he's got about 110 yards in his career rushing, this season rushing, which is more than he's ever had in his career.
On 2nd and goal from the 2, Bledsoe, play action, rush coming, throws, back of the end zone, touchdown New England, Rod Rutledge. And the Patriots with a chance to at least make this one interesting, trailing now 19-9, 5:48 left.
And this is what's called the safety valve play. You take your tight end, you run him under the goalpost, and you say, sit there. If everybody's covered, if we get pressured, just throw the ball, loft it by the goalpost, and we're got a tight end there that's going to catch it. Nobody's around him. And it's a safety valve play. We used to run it. Every team has that. If the quarterback's in trouble in the red area, sit behind the goalpost.
Well, now trailing by 10, they have to go for 2, make this an 8-point game, and hope to get the football back and put another touchdown on the board and face a similar situation. You see what they've done so far this season on 2-point conversions. Rutledge with his first touchdown of the year, setting up a 2-point conversion try. Patriots desperately need it. Brown in motion. Bledsoe handing it off. Falk, he gets in there. And the New England Patriots now trail by 8.
It's a nice design play. You line your back in the T formation to the left. The defense has to cheat over, and you hand him the ball where he runs across the grain and gets into the goal line. Gets over the goal line in for the touchdown. Nice play by the offense. You get the defense to shift where you get an angle on them if you're an offensive blocker to seal them off. Open a crease on the right side and just let Kevin Falk pick his hole in his crease. Here's a 2-point conversion. Watch this. The defense is going to shift a little over here because the back's there. That's why they slant there. They slant to the back, go the opposite way.
Well, still enough time to work with. 5:48 remaining. A 12-play, 73-yard drive.
Here's a look at the touchdown. Play action pass, and it's a safety valve. You tell your tight end, go to the back of the end zone and sit there. If we get in trouble, we'll throw it up for grabs.
They used 3 minutes and 42 seconds of the clock. And now Bledsoe will just hope that he gets another chance. Patriots will kick it off, trailing by 8, 19-11. Adam Vinatieri will do the honors. Romeo Crennel.
And I think they got in trouble going to the prevent defense.
No doubt.
If they just played their solid defense, even though it's 2-minute by the Patriots, they're probably not in a situation.
Vinatieri for Jamel White from the 8. And White is brought down shy of the 20-yard line by Chris Floyd. Coming up tonight on CBS, these lawyers were O.J. Simpson's dream team. But behind closed doors, it was a nightmare. Don't miss the miniseries O.J. doesn't want you to see. American Tragedy, a CBS miniseries event. That's tonight here on CBS. A 1st and 10 at the 18 for Cleveland. A long drive for the Browns is what they're looking for. They lead by 8. They put a field goal on the board, and maybe the Patriots will be done for the day. White is in the backfield. Pederson handed off. White turning it to the outside, unable to get around the end, and Chris Slade drags him down. 2-yard gain.
This is a tremendous play by linebacker Chris Slade. He's got the tight end in his face, pushing him down the field to play, fights the tight end off on the end, and Mark Campbell, look at the push right here. He sees him, stands him up, watches the back, throws him to the side, and go make the play. Just gets him by the back of the jersey. If he doesn't make that play, running back Jamal White is getting 8 to 10 additional yards on that run.
Instead, it's a 2nd and 8. Browns offense, the rushing yardage has been the big difference for them. And the passing numbers you can't really buy into because most of that was with Tim Couch at QB on the season. Here's Pederson off the bootleg. Flip in front. Edwards. Stutter step move and a flag down. Edwards with a 2nd and 3rd effort just trying to pick up extra yardage. We'll see if this one is coming back. 2 separate flags thrown in on the play. And Pederson is telling the sideline that it might have been a hold. Patriots are going the other way. Maybe offsetting. Jerry Austin.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Holding the linebacker on defense. Have illegal use of hands from behind. 83 of the offense. The penalty's offset. Replay 2nd down.
Now they'll do it again.
And that really hurts the offense because this is a nice play. Chris Palmer designs this play. Your quarterback rolls out. You've got a defender in Greg Spires that has to play the fullback, Mark Edwards. But what do? Do you get to the quarterback or do you play the fullback? What he does is he goes to the quarterback. The fullback's open, makes a great play on the play, but not yet to be. Mark Campbell, legal hands to the face. And Chris Palmer sitting there, what do we have to do to finish off? This team has not been a good finishing football team.
Palmer's team is in front 19-11. 4:48 left in the 4th. Now facing a 2nd and 9. Pederson steps up. Pederson avoiding the rush. And on a scramble, he slides down across the 25-yard line. Not enough for a first down. But the clock continues to roll as he picks up 6. Down to 4.5 to play in the 4th.
This is a smart play by quarterback Doug Pederson. He sets, there's nothing there. Sees an open hole, go ahead and take it. Take advantage of it, make something positive happen. 1, try to get the first down, obviously. 2, run the ball and continue to make the clock move. The Cleveland Browns right now, they need first downs. They need a first down desperately here. They want to keep the clock rolling.
A big 3rd down for the New England defense. Still a 1-possession game. On 3rd and 2, Patriots showing blitz. Here they come. Pederson slings it to the outside. Incomplete. Otis Smith had the coverage on Bobby Brown.
You talk about a big play for the defense of the New England Patriots. Otis Smith has a position in on Bobby Brown. Here he comes up, gets his hands on him, stuffs him at the line of scrimmage. That delays the route. Now quarterback Doug Pederson, he's just going to throw the ball up for grabs. It's a nice play by Otis Smith on the play. What delays is quarterback Doug Pederson feels the blitz. They blitz him with everybody. It's one-on-one to the outside. That's a play. If your wide receiver gets off the line of scrimmage, is converted.
The Patriots given an opportunity to get back into this football game. Can they take advantage of it? Brown from the 24. Brown dances his way to the 35, and he's brought down at the 36. Tarek Salah making the stop on special teams, but New England with plenty of time on the clock, 3:49, needing a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie. 19-11 Cleveland. Coming up next Saturday on the Home Depot College Football, the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame try to stay on track. They take on the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Or the Auburn Tigers tangle with the Alabama Crimson Tide in one of the biggest rivalries anywhere. That's the Home Depot College Football right here on CBS next week. 1st and 10 for New England. Line of scrimmage just shy of the 37. A full receiver set for Bledsoe. Spread the field. Blitz coming. Dump it off. Kevin Falk. And he angles himself out of bounds shy of the 45. They'll spot the football just short of the 44. A gain of 7.
And the key on this play, if you're going to blitz Jameer Miller to put pressure on quarterback Drew Bledsoe, you better have somebody covering Kevin Falk. They don't have that. They need to designate one player on defense, follow him, mirror him, play him man-to-man because he's the player that's killing the defense.
The Patriots offense has finally woken up. A 2nd and 3 from the 44. Bledsoe, good protection, up in the air and out of bounds. Tony Simmons got tied up on the sideline, and that did not look like a catchable ball. Corey Fuller had the coverage one-on-one. It is 3rd and 3.
The good thing for the Cleveland Browns, they got away from that prevent defense. They're cheating closer and closer to the line of scrimmage to try to pressure, one, the receivers, not letting them off the line cleanly, and two, to get pressure on quarterback Drew Bledsoe. But here's the key for Romeo Crennel. He better put someone on Kevin Falk. This is a perfect situation to dump him the ball for a quick first down.
On third down, Bledsoe is sacked. Back at the 35 by Stalin Colliday. Lanoy Jones also in on the sack. Fourth Cleveland sack of the day, and the Patriots will punt it.
Now, the key to this play, the blitz right here. There's Jones, one-on-one with Falk. He's not going to let Falk out. He's trying to block him and get out, but it's the pressure. He runs through the attempted block by Kevin Falk and gets to the quarterback. If Kevin Falk leaks out, it's a first down, but he can't hold up long enough because Lanoy Jones just powers his way into the backfield.
On fourth down, Cleveland has used a timeout, only one remaining. Gives us a chance to tell you about the Subway postgame show coming up. Jim, Mike, and Jerry will have the scores and highlights. And the latest NFL news, it's Week 11. And you can check it out on the Subway postgame show. That's coming up.
Now, we talked about the prevent defense. You said it prevents you from winning. It does. I hate that defense. If you're pressuring a quarterback by the blitz and you've survived the entire game and won with it,
why go away from it?
Why? I scratch my head and say, why do you go to this? Your guys are aggressive. Let them be aggressive. Let them be what they are.
Lee Johnson gets the punt off. Dennis Northcutt forced to backpedal, takes a Cleveland bounce, and rolls out of bounds at the 30. So now with 3:09 left, Bill Belichick's team is just hoping they get another crack on the offensive end. They were given a chance. Bledsoe and the Patriots, though, unable to move the ball down the field, trailing 19-11.
And this is the point of the game. New England's going to use their timeouts, obviously. Cleveland's going to run the ball. They need first downs. 2 first downs ought to clinch it for the Cleveland Browns in this situation. But here's the key with young football teams. They've got to have a leader in their huddle saying, first, basics, guys, protect the football. If you're touching the football in any capacity, you protect it with 2 hands because the defense is going to try to strip it from you.
3:09 left. Browns with a 1st and 10. Ball spotted at the 29. Prentice and Edwards in the backfield. A long count for Pederson. Handed off. Here's Prentice. Has a hole. And stumbles forward out across the 35. A gain of 7 on first down. Wolabaugh and Lindsey. Good blocking up front for Cleveland.
Now, this is a nice job of smash mouth football. 2 tight ends in the game. You line up and you let the defense know that we're going to run the ball because they know that you're going to run the ball, and you just overpower the defense. It's a mindset.
Chris Palmer has split the carries between Prentice and White. Prentice with 13 carries, White with 12.
I think right now clock management is important. Doug Pederson has to look at that clock and make sure he's not running plays off with 10 seconds left. You get that clock down to 3 or 4 seconds.
On a 2nd and 3. Pederson for Prentice. And spun down. Gets ahead to the 39-yard line. Give him a gain of 1.5. Bobby Hamilton in on that stop. And it doesn't appear to be enough for the first down. Clock stops with 2:18 remaining in the 4th. Did New England call the timeout? We have still not been given the indication. Yes. They've used their first timeout here in the second half. They have 2 remaining. Well, coming up tonight on 60 Minutes, if you're concerned that the vaccine against measles, mumps, and rubella isn't safe for your child, why don't you watch 60 Minutes? That's tonight, right here on CBS. Well, the wins for both of these teams have been few and far between. Patriots 2-7, Browns 2-8. Bill Belichick was hoping to snap a 3-game losing streak. Browns have lost 7 straight. And right now it is Cleveland in the driver's seat, facing a 3rd and 1 with 2:18 left on the clock and an 8-point lead.
Cleveland's had problems with their short yardage and goal line. In the last 2 games, 6 times on the 1-yard line, didn't get a touchdown. That means the guys up front aren't moving the defenders back off the line. This is a huge play for the Cleveland Browns.
On 3rd down, Pederson on a pitch. Prentice, he's got room. Travis Prentice out of bounds as he crosses midfield. A brilliant play calling And you have to question why Prentice scampered out of bounds.
And that's the only thing he did bad on the play. A tremendous play by head coach Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator. Fake it inside like it's a quarterback sneak. He's lucky there's no penetration. He pitches it exactly the precise moment that he's hit by Chris Slade. And here it is. Travis Prentice, you're a rookie. Stay in bounds. Stay in bounds.
I think he was so excited he got the first down. He just kept going forward.
Well, he was so open, but look at the big block of Teddy Bruschi right on the edge by Mark Edwards. That's key. He frees him to get into the open field.
So the one mistake Prentice made is going out of bounds and stopping the clock. Now from midfield, it's Prentice again. Prentice breaks a tackle. Travis Prentice with a 9-yard gain on first down. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. Teddy Bruschi had a chance to bring him down sooner. Unable to do so. Chris Palmer beginning to taste it. 19-11. Browns leading the Patriots. 2 minutes left in the fourth. Coming up, Subway postgame show. Jim Nantz, Mike Ditka, Jerry Glanville have all the scores and highlights and the latest NFL news. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show. One more first down for the Cleveland Browns and the game will be over. On a 2nd and 1, 2 minutes remaining. Plunging forward, Travis Prentice. And that's enough for the first down. This will go down as the low point of the season for Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Back-to-back games against Cleveland and Cincinnati, hoping to turn around their season. Close games have not gone their way. They've lost 6 of 7 games. All 6 of those losses have come by 8 points or less. And a chance to tack on one more in an 8-point game. 1:51 left. New England has called a timeout. They still have 1 remaining. Well, the Browns now have 4 downs to work with, or do they? Looks like they came up just a little bit short of that first down. And we'll call it 3rd and inches at the 39.
Now for Drew Bledsoe, here's the quarterback. Only one quarterback has more starts since he started his career, and that's Brett Favre. He's an iron quarterback. He doesn't like to miss. But I think in this instance, I think after warm-ups, he probably should have gone over to his head coach, Bill Belichick, and say, you should probably start John Freeze.
Northcutt, the motion man, 3rd and inches. And there it is. A first down for Cleveland. And game over for the Pats. The Cleveland Browns will snap a 7-game losing streak.
And it seems like the Browns had the momentum throughout the game.
Yep.
It seems like they're going toe-to-toe, feeling each other out. And as soon as they scored a field goal, then they got another turnover. It was like, hey, we can win this game. And I think they had the attitude coming into the game that we're in for another fight. But as soon as they got points, I believe that the momentum kept building. They started playing better on defense, better on offense. The offensive line has played very solid this afternoon.
Pederson on a first down. And handed off to Prentice. Going to the outside. Don't go out of bounds. And he does. Why?
Rookies.
Why? Not. You got to learn from your mistakes, and Chris Palmer's going to let him know.
That's what I talked about, leadership. If you've got a leader in the huddle, after he does it the first time, even before it happens, you're supposed to tell him, whatever happens, you get the first down, you stay in bounds. Then after it happens this time, someone's got to tell these young players, you've got to have that designated guy in the huddle that says, hey, pick up the first down and stay in bounds. You would think that the player should know that.
Mark, to me, that's the obvious point. This guy played 4 years of college football. This shouldn't be the first time it's coming up late in a game.
But apparently he's done it twice, so someone should probably whisper in his ear and tell him, hey, don't do it again. But now it's a kneel-down situation.
And Pederson will take that knee. The New England Patriots losing streak extended to 4. Bill Belichick's return to Cleveland, not what he had in mind. Cleveland Browns fans have not had much to celebrate about. And the fans that did remain here at Cleveland Browns Stadium are
on their feet.
Yes, indeed, with their arms in the air. Chris Palmer allowing himself a smile with 33 seconds left.
You've got to appreciate Chris Palmer, and we've had the Cleveland Browns a few times, and we appreciate the effort that he really puts into this because he does. It's a passion for him, and all the work and hard work and dedication, it pays off in this situation.
And the Browns go over their win total from a year ago. They win their third game of the season, snap a 7-game losing streak by knocking off the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick 19-11. Don't forget, the Subway postgame show is coming up. For Mark May and our entire CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle saying so long from Cleveland Browns Stadium. Browns won it. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 35.